Good evening, audience. How are you doing this evening? We are all present. I won't say we're all very well, but we're present. We have Stuart, the character Remy, is joining us via Discord today.
Shut up!
So it'll be interesting to see if it works.
Yeah, we'll see how this does. We'll listen to it back after it's finished and see how it comes across to everybody. Those of you that were listening last week will remember that our party slayed the dragon of White Plume Mountain, reclaimed 3 incredible powerful weapons, Whelm, Wave and Black Razor.
I feel almost the word slay doesn't quite encapsulate the resounding success of that encounter.
Absolutely, you guys just went ham on the dragon. I'm throwing a bigger one at you next time, guys.
I'm sure we get home, we just do exactly the same thing again.
So what happens now is we get a bit of time in the modern day real world where the party members can wander around the tavern, have a bit of an exploration, bit of a break scene. Any items the party wants to try and acquire from the local magical armory, run by the beholder sister of the Thieves Guild captain. She's called Pat Benatar. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go see what. I'll head over there and see what she's got. Go and visit good old Pat Benatar. It's been a while.
Good. Chloe's our viewer and she says that we can hear Stuart, so it's fine. I can raise the mic a little bit so we can pick him up a bit better.
Why am you on the bar?
She's not working. Don't hassle her on her day off.
It's not a day off.
She's not working, so it must be a day off.
Supposed to be. Changed everything around, that's right.
So yeah, the group get a bit of time in the real world to buy stuff, sell stuff, look into stuff. And then it'll be all back to the bar for another story from Derek in the evening. So
yeah, I'll head to Pat Benatar.
You're going to head to Pat Benatar's.
Is there any dinosaurs in this area of the world?
In this area of the world? Well,
No,
you're in the
it's
middle of the
just
city.
in it, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
no.
Cool, just checking.
Because you've got a dinosaur in your other campaign and you want one in this one now, don't you?
No, I was just wondering, but the dinosaur won't come with us anyway unless you fell asleep with the third death. It's fine.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of something cool to buy.
I mean, there are exotic pet breeders.
Now I'm gonna have a think.
There is a rather
In
new...
fairness,
Yeah?
in truth, we really do need to get the Churchosaurus a
Saddle.
saddle.
Oh,
That's a very
good
good
idea.
point.
That's a good
It
shout.
has to happen.
That's a very
That's the
good
thing,
point.
they exist.
Yeah.
There are. Oh no, wait. Am I remembering Ark?
No.
I'm sure we can find a.
There is armour for horses, etc.
I'm sure we can find a leather worker who'll make one of those.
I would be happy to modify the rules for
Can his
horse
name be
armour to work with
Maximus,
Church.
That would be.
Yes.
Maximus. Maximus.
Reximus Decimus
Vaguely,
Meridius.
it might end up looking like something out of the Flintstones, but you know,
Spawner to a murdered brood.
it could work.
Mated
yeah.
mated
I
to a
think
murdered
Max
bird
because he
female.
does all the leather work.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, we've got to try that.
Okay, I mean, if absolutely, I'm happy to do that. So, there is obviously Pat Benatar makes magical armor and that. She has quite a lot of connections to standard armor crafters, weaponsmiths, leather workers, and that. Those aren't my keys. She will happily recommend someone after giving you a weird look. And let me tell you, when a beholder gives you a weird look, it is something to see, because they have about 19 eyes
They're all do
and a big one.
Yeah, because in order to measure this up, I don't want to mess up her shop.
All of a sudden he just goes.
So, does she have a backyard that we could just quickly step into?
Not.
Just said,
When
don't stop explodes.
Sorry, Remy, go ahead.
Sorry, I was going to say, when you said her name was Pat Benatar, I was picturing this 70-odd-year-old woman that maybe seemed better days, but carried this charismatic sort of glow. And then and then obviously you described her as a beholder. I mean, it's just instant reality shift.
That's fair enough. No, it's because the beholder that runs the Thieves Guild is called Xanatar. We've met his wimpy brother that runs the stage magic shop, you know, pulling a rabbit out of a hat, hanky up the sleeve sort of magic,
Magic shop.
Sure.
who was called Minotaur. And this is their sister that runs the magic item shop, and I jokingly said Pat Benatar.
Very good. Very good.
So now all the businesses are going to be run by beholders with silly rock names. So
Excellent. So, Pat, we need a saddle and some badass dinosaur armor, please. Size wise,
dinosaur armor, darling.
how can I do this?
Yeah, so no one can hit him with their best shot. That took too long to say.
Actually, I was going to use that. That was the one song I could remember.
That's the only one I can remember. And again,
Love is a
same reason.
battlefield.
Guitar Hero.
Love is a battlefield.
I'm
That's by Pat
going
Benatar.
to have to Google it now. Hang on.
We belong together because that's why I named his hammers the We Belong hammers.
Oh, you're using all the easy ones. Hang on.
Yes,
We've done this. We did this last time. I went through the entire discography of Pat Benatar.
Pat Benatar songs. My phone actually remembers me looking for it.
If you, I do have somebody that I use for custom leather work of a non-magical variety. I could send you down to their little place if you want.
Yes, I'd like to be invincible as a dinosaur. I don't have your regrets. I'm just crowbarring these in. They're not pretty. They're not sophisticated. They're just.
There's a moment. She goes, diamonds. Whatever you believe, young man. Whatever you believe. Yes. I use a gentleman. I'm trying to think. Give me a second. I'll have a funny rock name to do with D&D.
Just do my push. Just go ooh song. Yes, it was.
Song.
Don't walk away.
Come back.
It's not necessary, is it?
Oh dear.
Was that a little too late?
Oh god.
Well, first of all, to get there, you need to go past the monastery. You know the druid worshippers, the all-female druids college that worship them thorny plants. What do they call it? Nuns and roses.
I knew it was coming.
You need to go past the Nuns and Roses College.
Yeah.
And then you've got to go down past the. God, I'm too tired to think of stuff quickly.
Is he anywhere near the armourer who also makes chocolate bars? The Aerosmith.
The Aerosmith, yes, they are. Oh,
That's amazing. I love that.
That's just opposite. Just opposite the place that makes the turning doors made out of plush fabric. The Velvet Revolver.
Oh! Is it near the?
I should have got you guys to come up with my business name. It'd be way better than DWD Props.
Is it this is horrible. This had too much build up now. Is it near the guy who writes the diaries? His job, he just sits there every day and Phil Collins.
God.
Shall we stop now? Oh, it's all become a blur.
Oh no, I know him. Didn't he used to work in the place where they give you a new start, a new beginning? You know, they give you a Genesis.
I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, or Chloe.
Yeah.
Oh, there's Topo. Oh, wrong thing.
But then, personally though, you're in the wrong end of town for them. You want to go more towards the slightly newer end of town.
Ah.
Yeah, there's you have to hire yourself one of them guides. They know all the alleyways up there. Really nice, them Backstreet Boys.
I forgot I needed to do something. I'm going home.
I'm out.
This isn't going to end. You've got to start it now.
Gone too far.
Not going to end.
Doing a bit of. Ooh, okay. Cool.
Well, if it's gone too far,
No.
there's the plumbing service that will help you say bye. In sync.
That caused me physical pain in my shoulder. Then. It's like someone went, stop it.
I think we've gone too far down this path. I think we need to come back for good.
Once you're back. For good. Whatever I said, whatever
And
I
then
did, I did.
when you get to
That's the
that,
most man
This is clearly gonna get
response.
wrong,
Whatever I said, whatever I did. I don't know what I did wrong. I'm sorry. You just shut up.
once you get to that end of town, go towards the tanneries,
Yeah.
and then you're going to turn. Not the west side of the city. You want to go to the other end. You want to go about. You want to go east 17.
I hate you.
No, you don't. You love me. She gives you directions to a leather worker down near the tanners and slaughterers district, because there's not far to go for the skins, so he gets them cheaper. But he is used by a lot of the armourers, not the armourers. What do you call horse? Barding. People who make the barding, they make general horse gear, head collars, saddles, that sort of thing.
Excellent.
It's also used by the oxen cart teams for the pulling and the harnesses and that for them all. His work is not necessarily top quality. It doesn't look pretty, but it will take
it's not the
half.
dream.
But it will take a half-ton cow pulling on it for 20 years without breaking.
Sweet.
So it'll be sturdy and it'll be rugged and it won't go anywhere.
Go for that rugged one.
Which is probably more what you need.
Yeah. All right.
Pat Benatar gives you directions. There's a few more rock puns that we're going to fast forward through.
Excellent.
Personally, I don't think you should take it for granted. Sorry, wrong kind of rock pun. Oh, it's marvellous.
I can't think of it. Ah, there.
I'm too tired to stay focused, but that's the problem tonight. It's going to be a goofy one.
It is.
It's going to be a goofy one. And the guy says he will work on something, but he needs to know the measurements.
Okay. So.
And you look around his shop, which is about the size of this room,
Yeah.
with a space in the middle where a horse would stand. And he looks around the shop and he goes, when you say dinosaur, how big?
Do you have another side?
Do you have a yard outside that's not terribly well overlooked, or a church hall, or a large basement?
Have an alleyway.
An alleyway.
Probably not. Although I don't want something that big in my back alley. I'm not gonna lie to you. And it is a bit dirty at the moment.
All right.
Well,
Alleyway sounds perfect and interesting. Let's go.
I don't think it's. I
No.
don't think it's
Okay.
fair.
Not the alleyway then.
However, there's a bit of wasteland
Oh,
on the other side.
excellent.
Yeah. You know, I've been waiting for a day when the grass has started growing back, but if we're not going to get a green day, we'll use it.
Oh, super grass.
That was a good one. I like that one. Okay, and there's a round the back, sort of down the alley and across the shop opposite.
Yep.
There is a bit of wasteland that's clearly was once a slum of some sort and has been demolished in some catastrophe and is now just lumpy open ground with a bit of rubble and some burnt wood in it.
Excellent.
More than enough size for you to go T-Rex and to take some measurements.
Marvelous. Right. Chose there. Go. You're going to need a bigger tape measure and get a load of this and polymorphs into
Get a load of this.
T-Rex
Well,
and stands there giving it Jurassic
I've
Park.
truly never seen one that size.
Stop
This
looking at that.
is-
The saddle's not for that. It's for my back.
He gets out his leatherworking needle, which is about the length of his hand. He goes, I just don't think this is a big enough prick.
I can't. I thought I could, but I can't.
You guys negotiate. We'll skip over the basics. He negotiates that he will have you something.
Excellent.
It's a lot of leather though.
Yeah.
There's no guarantee he'll have it for you before you go back to the tavern tonight.
That's fine. We'll pick it up in the future. Can I just give him a little bit extra so I can just get a little gnome hat?
He has enough to make you a headpiece for the
Excellent.
T-Rex.
I want a gnome-shaped hat big enough to fit a T-Rex.
Absolutely.
So
you get
everyone
one,
knows
Red.
it's definitely me.
You get one.
In case
So-
the pink and green stripes don't give it away.
Sorry, go on, Remy.
point of order. Love the idea of this leather armor and helmet, etc. for the T-Rex. How are you going to polymorph into the T-Rex and then don the armor, or are you going to wear the armour that's clearly 6 sizes too big for you, and then pulling them apart? What's your
You see, that's a dangerous amount of thinking and planning.
Bag of holding's only that wide.
Yeah, that's a really good point that we've not actually considered before commissioning all of this.
It might
There
be
must
worth.
There must
Could
be
it
a
be
resizing
magical?
property.
Oh, it
Yeah.
could be magical. Yeah.
Could it be magical and made out of the same stuff? as the
That
bag of
would
holding?
involve negotiating with Pat Benatar to enchant it.
Okay. Well, we'll do that. We'll make it first, and we'll spend a lot of money making it, and then we'll see if it'll actually enchant us to right. Because that's how Church does things.
Okay.
It's kind of like the Field of Dreams, isn't it? If you build it, they will come.
Yeah.
It's kind of like how I do things, really. If I want to do it, I'll do it and then realise the repercussions afterwards.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like
shit, that wasn't a good idea at all.
it's like yes, I will
3
fight
months
you.
later, yeah, it doesn't work.
Or it works amazingly well.
Yeah. All our encounters now are going to be yes, I will fight you, but just wait right there. I'll be back literally in 3 hours from that. Yeah. Lay it all out on the ground, squeeze under it, lie on the floor, and polymorph.
I've just got images of this Tyrannosaurus Rex with its tiny arms trying to put its legs into this leather carding.
You just get someone else other than you has mage hand, don't they?
Oh yeah, mate.
Yeah, but it depends how heavy the leather armour is for
You-
T-Rex armour.
There is a
right,
weight
oh.
limit,
Oh, is
though, I
there?
think,
Yeah,
on Mage Hand.
Mage hand
yeah.
can lift about, I think it's like 5 pounds.
Five,
Yeah,
ten
it's not
pounds.
a lot at all.
Something like that.
Your best
Like,
bet-
which is an
best
average
bet
sized
to
cat.
step inside it and then
It'd have to
polymorph
be
yourself.
it'd have to be
Yeah.
made of paper with the saddle.
Maybe you guys are rich enough now that Churtlin can just have a squad of armourers following him round.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, okay, peons, assemble!
No, but no,
Yeah.
technically, since it all disappears, we're not really rich enough at the moment.
There's a lot of gems and statues and stuff you guys have picked up over the last few sessions.
The look you're getting off Alan is shut up.
I ask Alan. Can I have
Alan
some
tells
tins?
you it's all disappeared. Because it has, it's no longer in the bag of holding.
Nothing there.
It's currently being fenced by several people he knows. Yes, so the physical armour he will make if you pay him.
Awesome.
However, you will have to do some persuasion checks to negotiate Pat Benatar's price.
Awesome. So, Alban, how are we doing on the old ability to pay for?
Well, I'd ask them for a price, and I'll let you know if it's within the realms of possibility.
Excellent. How much will the armour cost?
The armour itself.
Yeah.
I'm just going to look up how much horse armour
I
is
presume
and
you
scale
came
it
with
up.
us now.
Yeah, I can put it along behind you, just nipping into places while you're not watching.
Excellent. Have my persuasion
can't spell.
suits up.
Apparently.
Definitely persuasion rather than intimidation, because that doesn't work out very well this time.
If you need help with intimidation, I can.
We'll try persuasion first, and then if that doesn't.
I have a +7.
Yeah, oh, brilliant. If they won't do it for 5 gold pieces, then we'll try intimidation.
Okay, right, horse. He says he'll make you that armour for 150 gold pieces.
Fine.
Oh, right, yeah. Deal. No haggle.
Fine, no haggle.
Sweet.
Thank you.
In fact, throw him an extra 50 to make sure he does a good job.
Sweet.
He appreciates the tip and then says that he'll shuffle you to the front of the queue.
Oh.
Appreciate it.
Churley's going to pull him up out of the T-Rex now back in himself.
So we've been having a conversation with the viewers at
It's like this. So, how are you
I
gonna?
feel like your intimidation
Oh
would
my
be much
God.
bigger.
No, I like the.
Yeah.
So Church, how are you going to carry all this? And it's just a T-Rex going. Like shrugging with his tiny shoulders.
Actually, his shoulders are quite big. His arms are small.
Yeah. When I'm
He's like me.
T-Rexing, can I speak? Do I speak like Church, or is it just all?
No,
about
you
rah,
are.
rah, rah?
You are a dinosaur.
It's just rah rah rah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It would have been hilarious as just Churt's voice coming out of a massive T-Rex. Hey guys.
She's like some oversized Scooby-Doo voice.
Okay.
Good at bloke.
Ooh, that's a good point.
Awesome.
So, are you going to go back to Pat Benatar and negotiate?
Yes,
Tap
I'm
in
going to
macaroni
ask him for
fries?
something else. While he negotiates.
See, there's 5 people do tickets, so I don't forget things.
2 fucking things, mate.
I'm from Manchester, what do you expect? Do you want
And I want to do.
Please. Pick that chip
I was just thinking something.
This
Oh,
one
yeah.
a fucking ticket.
That's what I was doing.
Yeah, so I googled like some really good like good campaigns for level 10, and it basically gave me all the Tales of the Yawning Portal. And I was like,
Okay.
Slots filling up. Because Thomas said he was going to come in on the Thursday.
Yeah, he's back Thursday afternoon.
I think you 3 are doing like the standard time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't get it off work. So
Oh, you're not. You're not.
No. I heard back from today. I'm on 10 till close. 10 a.m. till close.
When do you close?
Anywhere between 11 and half 12.
That's not legal. You're not legally allowed to work over 12 hours without.
We get
without
breaks.
anything.
We get the break. We get a good break in between.
That's how they get around it. It's a 12-hour shift with the break until the 11.
We get a 2-hour break in between.
Oh, that's pretty sick. Then.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's how they get
but the
around it.
rota says 10 till close, but you get a 2-hour break in between.
So, Chert,
Mm-hmm.
are you returning to Pat Benatar and asking for enchantment on the armour?
Yeah, please, yeah, we'll toddle back. Pat, we're gonna get this badass armor. It's gonna be heavy. We need something to lighten it up so we can carry it around easily. I maybe shrink it down to my size and it grows with me when I turn into a great big imposing rather decorative dinosaur.
Oh, I see. So you turn yourself into a T-Rex and you expect to just bang a gong and to make that'll make me get it on.
Hang on.
I hate you.
What are you, some kind of electric warrior?
Oh,
A
no,
dandy in the underworld?
I was going to use that one. I was a little too late.
Cosmic dancer? I know all these songs. I didn't know they were by T-Rex. That's my music.
Oh no, we
education.
did T-Rex.
Well, you know Leela?
Yes.
My dad was in a T-Rex cover band. They were really good, actually.
I only know the one that was on that Lost album.
Fair enough.
The very first, the greatest whatever album of all time. And it had
Yeah, I had that. Yeah, I had that. Yeah, it's got like 4 discs or something.
and the Exploding Planet.
Yeah, I got it for
yeah.
like £5 from Asda. It was one of the best things I bought.
Yeah, it's
great.
absolutely brilliant. To be fair, by disc 3 they're kind of scraping the barrel because it's like
Oh,
Christa Berg
definitely.
and stuff. But
Can I ask
you
a
know,
question about Fireball?
Fireball.
Yeah.
Yes, go ahead.
Is it a cantrip or is it a spell?
Fireball
Yeah.
is a level 3 spell.
Oh, okay.
Fireball bolt is a cantrip.
Bolt
Yeah.
is
Well,
a
it's fine.
cantrip. Why?
No reason.
You need me to store
No,
a
no,
spell of it.
I'd like Fireball.
Make the DM suspicious when you say stuff.
Scared
Like
the crap out of me then, Remy.
I'm looking at the hat of wizardry.
that. Fair enough. Remy, Sid keeps forgetting you're on his speakers.
Okay, he always keeps
So we
picking up
just
his
keep,
phone.
we just keep seeing him twitching out the corner of our eyes. It's like, oh shit, he's
I
there.
coming out my computer, but it just, I was just reading something and you coughed and it scared the shit out of me.
Sorry. No, I was just listening to you guys talk about musical trivia. The best piece of musical trivia I know is that the unit at the back of my house where I currently am was where they recorded the Wombles song back in the 70s, the original Wombles song.
Really?
Huh.
Yeah, unbelievable, isn't it? Unbelievable.
What
I
unit
mean, I
is
don't know if
that?
that's according to local law, anyway. You know, the neighbours and everybody else that lives in the surrounding area. I've not googled it to find out if it's true, but
That's very cool.
whenever you go around for like bonfire night or even at Christmas, that type of thing, somebody will definitely raise it. Someone will talk about how the Wombles was recorded in the unit at the back.
That's very cool.
Yeah,
That's really cool. God, I can't spell.
but yet there's no plaque.
What?
That
It's
is a
disgrace.
campaign waiting to happen.
Yeah, it's travesty.
Should we just create a plaque, a 3D printed plaque, and just leave it?
trying to cancel Michael Myers now because he's homophobic.
Oh God, yeah, I saw that.
Wait, what?
Michael Myers.
Not the actor, the character.
Because he killed 2 gay guys in Halloween.
Which
Or
Halloween?
I don't know which, but in one of the
It'll
Halloween.
be the latest one.
Yeah, it's the latest one.
Yeah, please.
So we're trying to cancel the bad guy because he's a bad guy.
Yep.
Yeah.
And our argument is that he's more of a bad guy. So when he was murdering people, that was okay.
Yeah, but because he's murdered a couple of gays in it.
But this is what I mean. He's not trying to be cancelled. There's not like an entire group of people, thousands and thousands of people out there going, "Oh, Michael Myers is blah blah blah." It's
Like
10
4
people being really loud
Yeah.
on some popular
Yeah.
message boards. The sort of people that are like, "You can't even look at bacon because my dog gets upset." And it's like, the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah. And I don't want to belittle how
We
strongly.
get upset, but only because we don't do it.
Yeah. And I wouldn't want to belittle how strongly they feel about that as individuals. However, I would suggest that there is probably a list of people to be cancelled, and I think he's
Who deserve
way
it?
further down on the list.
Exactly, an imaginary character from a film who's already a mass murdering evil incarnation of some sort of witch's curse.
He's being inclusive.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I mean-
Guaranteed they are only in the film, so the filmmakers can show they are including a more realistic group of people in their audience. Victims.
All the characters in Little Britain come before Michael Myers.
Yes.
I mean, every
remember
single
laughing-
one of them.
I remember laughing to Little Britain a lot when I was younger. I tried watching it again recently and I'm like, oh, this was not okay.
Yeah.
This was not okay. What the fuck is this?
The one that made me turn off was when they came back and they did
The airport thing.
the airport thing, waiting for the pop stars, and I was just like, the joke is they're doing daft, mock Chinese ones. I was like, no, sorry, that's not funny. But yeah, it hasn't aged well at all. And
There's a reason Matt Lucas can't get a role anywhere at the moment.
yeah, but somehow David Williams has got, is.
Because David Williams was only along for the ride.
I thought he was. Did they not write it equally? Was it? Well,
It differs, literally. Both of them tell it differently.
yeah.
And both of them have changed the story over the years, so I don't really know. But as people, I have always had the impression that David Williams is quite a nice, well-rounded person.
Yeah.
Everyone that's ever met him in real life, both celebrity, real-life journalists, and sort of thing,
Yeah.
have said that he's a nice person. He's a little bit harried because he has a lot of stuff to do,
Yeah.
but he's a nice person, and he's always respectful and kind and funny and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Whereas I know people that have met Matt Lucas at a con and said that he was really rude and grating.
Right.
That might have been a one-off. But
Yeah.
that's the only interaction I've heard of with Matt Lucas. So that's sort of that's how I see the way.
Peter. And a fan.
Yes.
I might need to take that
I
to
need
the
you to roll me
office.
some persuasion.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Right,
Pat
it's
Benatar.
radiant.
Alright.
Joe, I was just seeing what your reaction would be.
I've got a few bits to ask her after this. After the persuasion.
Bloody funny.
A rather disappointing 13 on persuasion.
He's 13.
Yeah, and that's with a +7.
That's upsetting.
Yes.
Can I assist him?
Sure, go for it.
Yeah. Please.
That means you roll again, doesn't it? Does that mean you roll with advantage or?
Oh, hey, yeah. Do I get advantage? I might get advantage. Hang on. No. No, unfortunately not.
I did not help.
Oh. We're going to be lugging around some heavy ass armor.
So your initial attempt at persuading her goes over about as well as you would expect. She's busy, she's rushed, she doesn't have time at the moment.
Okay.
She says if you want, she'll arrange a day for a consultation where you can sit down and talk about what you want and she'll tell you how feasible it is.
Okay.
But right now she's behind on orders, she needs to get them out and working.
Alright, we make a date for what's effectively going to be tomorrow, because we're going to go and do
Yes,
some
it's effectively going to be the next time you guys are back in the tavern.
Alright, cool, we'll do that then. Because they've got to make the armor anyway, we've got plenty of time.
Yeah.
Happy days.
Yeah, nothing right now. Maybe a bit later.
Cool.
I need to sort this. Pardon me. That is. Well, does anyone want to do anything else?
Yes.
Azaf, go on.
I want to ask Pat Benatar for this a personal bag of holding that has got full of skeleton bones.
Why do you want a bag of skeleton bones?
Because then wherever I am, I can raise a small army. And I don't have to worry about
Okay,
pile of
you
bones
wouldn't go to a magic weaponsmith for that. You would go to a magic shop.
Yeah.
An actual magic shop, not Manatar's stage magic for the children.
Oh, does she have any necromancy boosting items? I don't know if that's such a thing. I don't really know how magical items or stuff like that would work.
Again, she is more, here is your axe of smiting or your vicious longbow. You would be looking for
Okay.
a wizard supply place for wands and staffs and things like that.
Yeah. Can I ask, excuse me, Pat, have you got any recommendations for a good wizarding store?
She says, not my brother's kind of magic, the proper kind.
The proper kind.
I don't really deal in that much myself. I know some people by reputation, but I can't personally recommend them. I can only give you the people I know.
Anywhere close?
Not too far from here. Towards the market square, you'll find a building. The outside is painted this little shade of green. It's some mage kicked out from one of the wizard colleges.
Give it a go. Cheers,
Okay.
Pat. See you next time. And I just leave and say thank you.
She returns to her usual things, yeah.
And I head to the market, the greenhouse. Oh, is this going to be some knockoff of the wizard from the Wizard of Oz?
No.
I was looking for the Pat Benatar song that you're heading to, but
I'm not.
no, that's thrown me completely. So that's punishment for trying to metagame Pat Benatar.
Trying to meta pun rather than meta.
I was trying to meta pun, and yeah.
So you get there, and the house it's clear which ones she means, because the house is painted a vibrant neon, like rave green.
Open the door.
And it has on the door an arcane symbol. And you're like, oh, you recognise it, it's used quite a lot of spellcraft. And then there's a moment, because it's an odd one to choose. It's the arcane symbol for when a spell is going wrong or didn't work during testing. And that's odd. Because normally that symbol only turns up when you've fucked it up, or when you're trying to remind yourself how not to fuck it up next time.
Okay. Oh, let's go in and say hello and see what happens.
It would literally be like if someone had on their door a giant red stamp that says fail on it. And that's their shop sign.
Okay, I open the door with my smoky cloak
Okay.
and just go, morning?
Inside is absolutely not it's absolutely the furthest thing that you expected to find. Kind of looks like an Apple shop. It's all clean white surfaces and glass displays, and except instead of phones, the tablets that it's displaying are stone tablets and tomes and wands. A couple of staffs behind the counter. And the person manning it is wearing khaki trousers, white shirt with a little black tie and a little name badge. And it's very off-putting because they have no face. They have the shape, but it's just all blank. No eyes, no holes on the nose, no holes for the mouth, just ears and flesh. But the minute you open the door, they turn to you. And you get a feeling of them smiling at you.
Nervously wave back and just stroll in.
You receive, or rather you hear, someone say in a rather chirpy voice, "Hello there, sir, how can I help you?" But the sound didn't actually go anywhere near your ears. It was almost like you remember hearing something that was said, but it was never actually said. Yeah, this is a bit of a brain bender and I like this.
Alright.
I like this concept. I've done this before and I like it.
Well, sir. I'm after. Oh, what's that magical item and stuff? What can I do to help with me? I don't even know how to phrase it or what to ask for. Key skills for me is my wisdom and my intelligence. A ring or necklace that boosts either intelligence or wisdom.
There's a moment where the thing that is looking at you like this stops, and it's literally like a robot going. Just the thing again. It's a voice, it's words without ever actually hearing the sound. Just a thing, and it guides you over to one of the display cases in the corner. And this is a floor-to-ceiling glass wall. Behind the glass are several rings of various, some really ornate, some just plain metal bands, with little paper labels stuck underneath them telling you what each one of them does. A couple of amulets on chains. Your eye is drawn in the centre of the display cabinet to an amulet that looks like a giant red circular gem, perfect circle, surrounded by a crysting silver and gold. Your eye is drawn in, and I want you to make a wisdom save.
If this is either charmed or frightened, I've got advantage.
That's fine, roll a wisdom save, and I'll let you know if you get advantage after you've rolled it.
No need. Natural 20, 28.
Okay, there's a moment, you're leaning into the glass case, and then just before your nose would hit the case, there's a... What is that?
Yeah.
Yes. I see you've noticed our piece, yes. It turns out, even magical glass can't stop the draw of Baphomet. That's why we have the warning line. When you look down, there's a yellow and black line on the floor that you've stepped over.
Okay.
I didn't want to show you that though, so I want to show you this. And on the same shelf as Baphomet's amulet, a few slots over, there's a couple of rings. One of them is like this plain silver band with a couple of lines carved into it.
Yeah.
And the one next to it is a really fancy gold ring that looks like two dragon claws sort of encapsulating your hands.
Okay.
It's quite thick. It's double thick to that. And it looks like you've got claws coming up and around your fingers, and they interlace at the top of your finger.
Okay.
Both of these have the benefit of heightening one's brain capacity or one's street smarts, one's reaction to dangers. They are rather pricey. They are quite hard to find. But we do offer 0% APR for the first 3 months. Really nice cheap credit plan, and you get a free Parker pen.
Kind of don't need pens. I sign everything in blood.
We have pens for that as well. You write with it, and instead of needing ink, it will draw the blood straight from you.
Yeah, just a prick to the finger, that does the same job. No, but I'm more intrigued about that amulet.
Sorry.
The amulet, sir.
I just got my mind.
The large Baphomet's amulet.
Yeah, I'd like a full description of the item, please. So I know what that interesting looking.
It was found in the blood-soaked ruins of a shrine to Baphomet. Anyone that puts it on, well, dies after killing everyone in the room. Their heart merely literally explodes. So far, no one has been found to be able to resist the effects once they're wearing it.
Challenge accepted.
It even has an effect just being in the same room. It heightens aggression. Hence,
No, it fucking doesn't.
hence the ward.
As he says that, my hands are around his neck. Oh, sorry.
So yeah, and
No, sorry.
I don't have a mouth or nose. Why are you strangling me? I don't breathe.
This is the most ineffective.
It's what the amulet told me to do.
You got to gouge his eyes out, and he's like, "That's not gonna work."
Doing that thing where you do it like that, and someone just goes, his hand just goes.
Beat me
Okay. So what's the pricing on these two amulets? Hello.
on the 2 rings.
You've done the 2 rings.
Oh no, that means we have one less viewer. She's in the bar.
Get out.
Yes, so the 2 rings. The large gilded dragon ring.
Yeah.
It's 2,000 gold pieces. The small steel band.
Yep.
200 gold pieces.
Can I try where are we? What have we got here? No. Can I roll insight to see if this person's, or this Ood, I'm calling him, remember the Ood from Doctor Who, or the Odd.
Okay.
No, she's actually telling me the truth about these items. I'm not just trying to
You
sell me
can
something.
certainly roll insight, yeah.
She's not just trying to sell me something I don't actually need.
No, you can certainly roll insight, go for it.
Why do you that? Would you like another? Yeah.
Yes, please. 21.
21.
Yep.
Okay. It's, yeah, another Pepsi Max is anything on this one. It is incredibly hard to tell. Because this thing has no facial expressions. And its body language is of something, as I said, robotic.
Yeah.
Whenever you ask it a question, it does almost like a searching for answers thing where it stops functioning
One moment, please.
and then restarts once it's found the answer.
Okay.
However, both these sorts of things, because it seems to be compelled to work in the shop
Yeah.
rather than doing anything of its own free will,
Okay.
and because it's some form of construct or animation, because it doesn't breathe, so it's not normal.
Yeah. Okay.
That means that it probably is telling the truth because it's almost certainly being forced to work here.
Okay.
And that alone, if it's being magically compelled to work here, it wouldn't be compelled to lie because it's trying to sell these items.
Okay.
Now, that doesn't mean it's being 100% honest and upfront about everything. That just means it's not directly lying to you.
Well, sir, 200 gold seems a bit much. What can I do here for a little bit of a discount?
I'm afraid 200 gold is already discounted. As you can see, Zorn's ring of draconic intelligence is 2,000 gold. But it does have several bonuses. It heightens the intellect of the person that wears it. It also allows its wearer to wield their fingers like draconic talons, hardening the tips. And provides resistance to fire. So it's more of a combination of things.
What about the other ring?
I'm afraid,
bonuses in this guy?
I'm afraid the other ring has a slightly darker origin. So it significantly heightens both the academic intellect and street smarts of those that wear it.
Mm-hmm.
But it robs them of the benefits of rest if they don't sleep for a night. This ring at 200 gold will give you +2 intelligence, +1 wisdom. But you cannot take short rests. During the time when the rest of the party takes short rests, you are too restless, too energetic, you can't focus, so you don't get any benefits from them. You can only long rest if you're wearing this ring. And once it's on, it can't come off, it's cursed. It comes off with your death.
Lose the hand.
Depends on the curse.
Oh, really?
Well, sir, I pull out like a necromantical card. Here's my card. I'll be back soon. You'll hear a message.
Absolutely.
And then I'll
Thank you.
walk out.
Come again.
Maybe.
As you walk out the door, I want you to roll me a quick perception check.
Okay. Ooh. 18.
You notice at the corner of your eye, the minute you step out the door, the thing sort of jerks to a halt and stops. Almost like if there's no one in the room, it doesn't exist or it doesn't function.
Cool. Well, I'll just head back to the bar now.
Oh yes, Stuart's using one of these. That's cool.
There's too many side effects.
So, Stuart,
And I can't
correct me if I'm wrong, Stuart.
Can't spend £2 a gold.
These
Journals.
you
Oh, yes.
created them, haven't you?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So are they on Kickstarter, or is the Kickstarter finished now?
The Kickstarter's finished. They're done.
So he's kindly donated a load of them for us to help raise money for the Stack Up event on Thursday.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry, I've just shown him to Matt.
I'm just having a look at them. They look amazing, mate.
Yeah, very good. So I realised that I couldn't, no matter what I tried, I couldn't get down on Thursday, and I was like, what do I do? And then it dawned on me, maybe I could offer some support. Maybe I didn't need to be there to offer any support, and then at least throw a few journals your way. Hopefully they'll raise some additional funds, and they've done quite well for themselves.
How much are you shifting them for, mate?
Slowly rolling on them.
How much are you
We're working on some other
expecting?
things as well.
Remy, how much are you expecting for them, Stuart? What's your...
They're going for £15 plus £5 postage very well. So, the price point is 15.
Great for creating characters and NPCs and stuff. Really good. Do you want to pass it round? Because I think Matt and Stephen might like look at them as well. I might pick one up and put some money in for it as well then.
We're going to do, I haven't quite figured out exactly how yet, but we're going to do raffle some off and some other bits and pieces and what have you.
You've got more than enough to do what you want with them.
Yeah.
As a DM, they'd be really good for just noting down NPCs and fully statted out characters that are like creatures that they fight.
Well, that's it. The intention was also to do a DM version where a lot of the sections will translate quite easily.
That's pretty cool.
But the Kickstarter didn't get to that stretch goal, so that's fine. We should have came down on that aspect. We just focused on the PC side of things.
That's fine. I love them, mate. A really, really good idea, and I love them.
Yeah, they're doing well. I did it 15 years ago for the 3.5 version.
Oh yeah.
And then when I thought, well, if I go and get involved again, I'll probably need a few more. So I just pushed it forward.
I love it, mate. They're a really good idea.
They're doing really well for themselves. We're probably going to push another one out soon, and there's plenty of things happening as well. It's all happening, so which is nice.
Excellent.
So, again, thank you very much. And
No problem.
hopefully we'll get a post out tomorrow about it.
To be fair, no one else has seen the green, the blue, the red, or the grey. It's only the Basalt black that have gone out so far. So you guys are literally the first to see them.
If we've got any of them, I'll get a free one.
I've left them in the box so far. I've only shown him the one black one so far. So Matt's face just lit up.
If you've got any of them, I want a green one if you've got any in.
Yeah, they're more expensive though. They're 20 quid.
What do we call them now?
I should be getting some money on
Comic
Thursdays.
red, dried green, and
I love it.
red.
Any kind of green. Any kind of green is my jam.
Who does the artwork on it? Cause
Yeah, who did the cover art?
That's stock, to be fair.
It's nice though, it's really good stuff.
I like the fact that the sketch
was my own. So it took longer than I wanted it to, but yeah, it's all good, isn't it? Really worked out a treat.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Yeah, I think they're really good.
The thing is, I know D&D Beyond is very useful, but it's an online tool, and I like paper.
You'd be
like
surprised.
character sheets that
Well, actually,
a lot of people
got
do
wine
prefer.
stains on them and the history.
Yeah, actually, you probably wouldn't be surprised. How many people, even people like me that use the online stuff, would still enjoy paper versions of some of it.
Yeah.
Well, I've got a bunch of these that I've used in the past with a 3.5, and they're sat on my shelf. And I can just go back to them and
Revisit old
I was
characters.
going to say, yeah, if you've got a character that you're sort of building,
figure out where
a nice way of
to go,
keeping that one
maybe tweak
character.
it for another character, at least I used to in the past. But yes, they do really well. The 3.5 is just one I keep for myself now, but the 5th edition, it's done very well.
Cool.
Awesome.
I am looking forward to viewing some of your 24 hours worth of gaming on Thursday/Friday. Can't wait to dive in on that one.
Actually, this is a really good time for us to take a quick break for anyone who wants to have a cigarette, bathroom, get another drink, or anything like that.
And then we'll
So-
go back to the book.
So To those of us that are watching, we will see you in about 5 or 10 minutes. welcome back. We have returned. We have finished our various minor chores and tasks. Before we head back to the tavern for another story from Direct, does anybody have anything else they want to look into in the real world?
Well, now I know you can do it. Can I go to quickly nip to the pet store?
Yes.
Yes.
Does anyone else want to go to the pet store?
Ooh.
This would be an excellent time for people to get pets if they wanted them.
Yes. I didn't realise that was a thing, but yes.
How easy is it to carry around some rats?
Sorry, Stuart's eating his laptop by the sounds of it. Stuart, you're right.
Yeah, all good, thank you. I'm just saying hello to the missus who's come home.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We hope she's doing well.
Yes.
Hello, Mrs.
She's looking very good, thank you, yes.
Good. Good. So, what sort of pet were you looking for?
I'll go and speak to the guy and ask him some.
I'd like a big black dog.
Is it possible to have? Well, they've got it in Diablo that follows you around. It's a floating skull. I don't know if that's a thing.
It's not a pet.
It's not a pet. It's a bad guy.
It's not only a bad guy, it curses whoever it's following.
Is that the thing that used to shout abuse?
This is shout at you, because you didn't do what it wanted to do or something.
Yeah, I was just
So
like,
it
no.
followed you round and it kept telling you off in the voice of a 6-year-old girl.
You're a dickhead.
Type of pet. Spider. No, a big spider.
Big spider.
A rideable big spider.
A rideable big spider.
Well, that's
Do
not
you mean
a
a
pet.
giant spider?
That's not a pet, that's a mount.
Yeah. It's different. Different
Is that-
section of the book.
Okay.
By pet, I mean literally cat or dog sized.
So I can't have a pteranodon then?
You can if you've got one that's cat or dog size.
You can have a smaller one.
A
Yeah.
baby one.
You can have a smaller
Not
one.
a baby one because that'll grow into a big one.
Yeah, exactly.
But you can have one of the smaller species.
I only wanted it so I could be rich.
You want
I
that
could
baby?
ride it.
I was going to get a rat.
I don't need a pet. I'm not going to waste my money.
No, I'm good.
No,
I'm
I won't.
gonna
Because
save them for
I'll
next
get
time.
attached and it'll die. And
So as well, because the viewers don't know what I've done while I've been nipping into all the different shops and talking to people, but I've
That's a small fortune.
really,
not anymore. I've spent all. That's how
well,
it works.
hopefully you're right.
I have opened the Ultimental Hotel for Adventurers, which is a membership based thing where we've only got the one so far, but we're looking to put one in all the major cities. Waterdeep. Where are we? Are we Waterdeep now?
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, so we have the first one in Waterdeep. We'll put one in
Blackheath.
Saltmarsh and so on and so forth. But we've set up one. It's a place where they can stay, but also if they speak to the concierge, they can find out where the best place is to get armours. Speak to an armourer, speak to a magic items place, spells, and so on and so forth, tinkerers, and you know all that sort of jazz. We'll give them advice on where to get it, or they can order it through our concierge, and we, for a fee, will go and get it made for them, so on and so forth. So yeah, we now have the Ultimental.
You will.
Well,
You started the process.
started the process.
Are
The funds
you
have been transferred.
Sold on Ultimental.
No, but
Okay.
it's the only thing I can think of right now. The Geek Bar Mark II.
The geek bar in D&D.
The Adventurers Hotel.
No, they're going to stock up. They're not going to. Ooh. Is there any rock song puns about stocking up or loading up?
There must be. I'm just googling now.
I mean, there's the bakery run by the guy that played
Oh,
Tony
can I just call
Soprano.
it the ballroom?
Oh, you could do. There's the bakery run by the guy that played Tony Soprano. It's called Got Yourself a Bun.
I mean, sticking with Pat Benatar, you could call it Wuthering Heights.
Oh yeah.
We can go. We call it Ballroom Blitz.
Ooh. Oh, I like that.
That's alright.
To be fair, actually, I quite like the ballroom. It's a very
That
like
sort
the
of thing.
Continental. It's almost like a title rather than a name, and I like it.
Hotel Yorkshire, like the Hotel California, but Yorkshire.
Woke up in Hotel Yorkshire. I don't know why he's lost that.
Hotel Yorkshire. I don't know where the fuck I am.
Sorry, Hotel Yorkshire.
To Hotel Yorkshire.
To Hotel Yorkshire. Welcome to Hotel Yorkshire.
Oh dear.
Vader.
I'm not going to sing another line to that song because
Okay, shall we go?
it's just not going to end well.
So, by the way, guys, you've all got free membership. Here's your whatever.
Ah, cheers.
When it opens up, we can stay there for free, so we don't have to worry about it. But I mean, currently we keep sleeping in the pub, so it's probably alright for a bit.
Cool beans.
So yeah, let's go back. Speaking of which, shall we go back to the pub?
Back to the pub.
Back
So,
to the pub.
Has everyone done everything they want?
hey, what should we do now?
What?
What should we do now?
Pub.
Pub?
Pub.
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 Do you want anything from
We'll
the
get
shops?
mums.
Do you want anything from the shops?
Cornetto, please. What's that? It's a corn. No.
Well, I didn't expect that.
Yeah.
Got me. Stuart, are you in a level crossing?
It sounds like he's on dial-up internet. Oh, he's gone.
Oh,
Has he?
He's fucked my computer up.
He's been hacked.
That noise happened and my computer turned off. What the shit?
Nice. He's still there, apparently.
Stuart, if you can hear us, we can't hear you.
Yeah,
It's
I
still
just
working
realised
with us.
what's going on. Yeah. We can't hear you, Stuart. Sid's computer died.
Yeah.
No, it's fine. It's back up. It was just something. That was bizarre.
I keep seeing this white bit out of the corner of my eye, and I keep going to stroke a dog. And I'm like, there's
It's
nothing
his my
there.
bag. I mean, you say that, we still can't hear him. Oh, you're back there.
You're back.
Great.
You're back. Lovely jubbly. Right.
Right, I've been listening to a lot of Star Wars audiobooks and she started freaking out a bit. Because what happens is if I get into Julia's car, it syncs to my phone and just starts playing, but not straight away. So you're like, you set off, and then all of a sudden you hear. Or, what the fuck is going? And I didn't realise the first book I listened to has sound effects, and it has like and the ship's rattling, and I'm like, what's that noise? Like, and my brain's like listening to the story, I'm like, there's fucking something wrong with you. Shit, I'm in trouble again. Driving along, and then I'm like, and then it goes like, vroom. I'm like, it's part of the thing. That's why I stopped my car.
See, I had the opposite. I was transporting some furniture a few weeks ago in my car, and then it started rattling. Whenever I went on the speed limit, you go click on. It's alright, it's got a service booked in. They'll change anything, they'll let me know. Came out of the service, there's no problems, and it still rattles. So eventually I was like, I'm gonna have to look in case it's expensive. And I looked in the back, and the metal leg from one of the sofas is in a cup holder at the back. And whenever I go over a thing, it goes clunk against the plastic sides. And I'm like, it sounds like metal on plastic, and it sounds really bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was like, I was afraid of this. Come on. So, you all return to the pub for the evening. Once again, Durek has his usual table with seats for you all. Sitting with him this time, pardon me, is a older lady. She has greying hair with just the wisps and hints of a deep red in it. She is, in human terms, she is easily 80 if not older. She's hit that stage where she is so leathered and so aged that she could be 80 or she could be 100. However, she's still sitting upright.
Double G.
As you sit at the table, she laughs at a joke that Durek has just told, and her voice is still strong and sweet. Her voice is that of someone much younger. There's no croak, there's no gasp, there's no shortness of breath. It's a strong, powerful voice, and the way she sits also has that same sort of aura. She's old, but she's still physically fit.
Like the Queen.
The Queen's an immortal soul-drinking vampire, So.
Okay.
No, werewolf.
Oh yeah.
Or both.
And lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah, could be. Yeah.
Werewolf. Doctor Who doesn't like.
California. You've got Hotel California right here, then. Oh, pardon me. Yeah. You guys sit down, and Derek introduces you and says, I want you lot to meet a friend of mine. This is Syrana. So, Syrana, Syrana. I helped her and her followers take over and drive out some really bad folks in her city. And she's visiting, she's in Waterdeep visiting, and she doesn't know when she's going to be back. She doesn't know if I'm going to be here when she comes back, so she's come to say hello. And I'm inviting her to sit and drink with us tonight.
She looks like she's from. Hey.
She's brought some wine from her region.
Excellent.
She paid the corkage fee.
She has. She lives out near Daggerford on the Sword Coast. And this is a sort of wine that Waterdeep doesn't get regularly. She's paid the bar corkage fee, she's brought the wine, it's being shared out. If anyone drinks the fancy wine, I need you to make a constitution save.
Go on then.
Looks
I
like
feel
we're all
like I
making
probably
constitution
would have
saves.
done.
Yeah.
So we get D&D Beyond back up at close.
13.
13,
12 for Chet.
12,
Ooh, 21 for Azath.
21 for Zarth,
Waking up
6
P2.
for Altman. I'm
Aye.
pissed.
Pissed off a mouthful.
6 for Altman,
Yeah.
Do you want another?
and
Which is
no,
bullshit.
no, no,
The skinny wizard's fine, and the big half ogre werewolf is drunk.
Remy will indeed have a swing of good stuff.
so,
He has a +6 con, but I will need to ask for something else to roll the dice.
well, you can do it on roll 20 if you're on there.
I am not.
Okay,
I
so,
am 30 seconds from joining you in the bar.
oh, lovely,
Ooh,
we'll
awesome.
see you in a minute. We'll get Stephen to roll the dice for you. Stephen, roll me a d20 please, mate.
Super stuff.
10.
So did you say +6?
It's +6 to the con save.
So 16 in total.
Excellent.
So, Azarth and Remy are not
Fished.
drunk yet. They're not feeling the effects. The rest of you are a bit tipsy.
Why would you not
Okay.
want to feel the effects of being drunk? Surely that's the whole point. That and forgetting.
It's a side effect of
emotions.
many years of drugs abuse.
I've heard I'm not drunk yet. Me and Remy can handle our drink.
Doesn't make any
Hotel
sense. No,
California.
Pardon?
I'm not accepting it, except here. I'm not accepting it. Oh, hello.
Hotel California.
Another early start for you
So yeah.
and student.
The wine's lovely though. It is. Any of you that actually drink wine, it's a really nice full-bodied red wine. It's got some really nice hints of flavour in there. To be proper fancy about it, it would be described as having notes of caramel and vanilla.
What about cherries? Can I taste some cherries?
You can mute Discord now because he's there.
Yeah, on it. Because that's fucking awful.
Who's that? Oh.
He's there.
The bar.
Hey!
He's there. No worries. Nice to see you.
Absolutely. Nice to see you. Nice to see you.
We're disconnecting off Discord so that you don't echo around.
Echo. Thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
But yeah, those of you that drink wine,
Stand up fan, that is.
the Sword Coast wine is lovely. It is earthy. It's got some cherry notes in there. It's got some vanilla, a little bit of cinnamon going on in the background, and then the alcohol hits you. And even those of you that passed your test, you're like, whoa,
You can feel it.
this is a strong drink.
Another glass, Remy.
Strong drink.
Yeah, this is kind of stuff that that gets passed out at those private sort of gigs.
This is exactly what it is.
Well, we were fine the first time. Another glass.
Oh. Absolutely, you don't turn it down. It's this beautiful.
Neck the drink and pass out.
Let's see how far this can go.
Going shot for shot with wine and see how long our characters are.
Shot for shot.
Yeah, shot for shot with a glass of wine.
You don't drink wine in shots. Did you mean glass
Oh,
to
we
glass?
got along.
Yeah,
Yeah,
glass by
we'll
glass.
educate you, Zar, don't worry. We'll educate you.
Not with
So, yeah.
my wine.
Don't you serve wine?
Yep.
You just serve it in really small glasses.
Where do you work again?
Yeah, precisely. I know.
So, once the wine is handed out and you've all had a glass, Durek and Serrano start talking.
It's around.
Serrano. And they start telling you about how they met. Serrano was in trouble. She had her city had centuries ago been taken over by a dark mage named Ghoul. G-U-L. Ghoul.
Cool. Okay.
He was a necromancer. He was a lich, but he had worked his way in to the ruling council of the city, hiding his dark nature from them. It was a city of wizards, of spellcasters, way up on the Sword Coast. And he had worked his way in, and only once he'd reached the top seat did he reveal his true nature.
See, that's the problem with a city full of
Politicians.
politicians or a city full of rogue individuals. It's so easy to pull the wool
Literally
over their eyes.
pull the wool over their eyes. Yep, that's it. And
Or hoodwink.
so Serrano was out searching for heroes that could help. In the centuries since, he has not just been revealed as a practitioner of black arts, he was revealed as a lich. He started corrupting the council. Those below him became his students, his acolytes, and eventually every single one of them became a lich as well, in order to preserve their own essence. So the same ruling. What? Could be. No, actually, it fits.
Sith acolytes.
So,
slightly different.
The ruling council was the same for close to 2 centuries,
No,
because they were all liches, but he was the most powerful. So that it just stayed as it was. And the city sank into the practices of dark arts. It became legal. Those shunned from other places were practicing the worst kinds of necromancy. Not even the sort of stuff you do. The horrific.
No. I like it. Like, what do you mean?
You just said that to the individual that went to a store in the hope of buying skeletal bones.
Yes.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The sorts of black magic this place practices makes you look like an edgy emo.
Wow.
You know? Makes you look like you're just going through a phase at the end of high
That's
school.
all, you're just going to have to up your game.
See what happens.
And the sorts of people this place started to attract
Yep.
basically led to its downfall. It now exists in 2 dungeons. One, both were formed by Ghoul, the original necromancer and lich. One is called the Dune Vault. It is essentially an underground civilization where Ghoul and his practitioners and their acolytes lived, and they furthered and experimented. They furthered and experimented dark magic. The normal citizens weren't allowed into the Dune Vault. It was only accessible via magic. He also created a separate miniature dimensional plane where he kept his phylactery as a lich. It's called the phylactal vault.
What does a phylactery mean?
The way liches stay alive is they put their soul in an object and put it far away from them. So long as the object remains unbroken and keeps their soul in there, they will live forever. Their body will decay, they'll become a zombie and then a skeleton, but they'll keep their mind, they'll keep their power, and they'll never die. If their body,
That's some sort of Harry Potter.
it's where the idea from Horcruxes came from, was a phylactery. If their body dies,
She's a terrible person, but she's also a plagiarist.
if their body dies, providing their phylactery is still intact, they can possess another body and just keep going.
Okay.
It's liches are real fun. Real fun. Bear in mind, no, you guys
We
didn't.
killed one with Nokia 3310 one.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
And I'm not going to say any more. That's it. If you want to find out, tune in and we'll tell the story.
And this guy created a
Do that.
separate dimensional bubble to hide his phylactery in, meaning it was nowhere on the material plane. It was existed in a completely different dimension.
Oh.
That has since become the council chamber. Because about 50 years ago, Ghoul was deposed by one of his acolytes. And his phylactery was destroyed and he was killed. Permanently killed.
Okay.
His acolyte, a man named Tam, T-A-M, led a coup, killing and destroying the phylacteries of those that weren't on his side, and releasing some of the citizens into the Dune Vault and turning it into an actual underground civilization.
Okay.
Keeping the normal citizens, those that couldn't use magic, were kept as, essentially, an endless sacrifice fodder. Once a generation, they would round up some of them and take them for sacrifices and used in experiments and that. And then the rest would be kept in work camps, basically to stay alive and breed the next generation. Yeah, this is a bit of a dark city and a bit of a dark adventure going
Like the
on.
Wraith in Madness.
Yeah.
They get choices.
So Tam took what was already a very dark and horrible place
Made it
and
worse.
added racism and concentration camps to it.
Cool.
He has turned the phylactal plane into the council chambers where him and his acolytes live, where their phylacteries stay, and they basically inhabit that plane so that they never risk damaging their physical bodies, and they can always guard their phylacteries and they never risk being caught. Now Sirana, the lady telling the stories, is part of the population of magic users that didn't want to be involved in it. They managed to survive in the above ground ruins, hiding from various raiding parties and various members of Black Arts users that were travelling to the city because they'd heard of what it did. They have found one of the portal rooms to get into the Dune Vault, and that is where they live. The portal is currently inactive. They have the spell to turn it on. They are looking for a party of adventurers that will go with their best magic users and raid the Dune Vault and kill forever Tam and his Black Council.
Well, if we come across any on our next adventure, we'll totally send them in your direction.
I mean,
Yeah, we think we know the guy. Yeah,
yeah, I know
Yeah.
a guy would be perfect for this.
Yeah, absolutely.
damn, we did have a total that was good at setting off traps. We
Yeah.
did know one.
So yeah, she's telling you about this story, and Derek is telling you that she approached him. She found him in a bar. She'd heard about him and his friends killing a dragon.
What's the fact you always find adventures
Previously.
in a bar usually? Like,
No,
in
he's a
every,
dwarf.
No, just in general,
So-
every universe usually has a
Listen.
bar in there somewhere, and that's where you pick up one
Yeah.
of the main characters.
And
Cantina in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
she found him. She'd heard he'd killed a dragon. She said, "Oh, if you kill a dragon, you must be competent." Yeah.
Well, the thing about
Oh yeah, we did.
a situation, like a predicament like this, is that whoever was to endeavour to bring light to such a place would have ballads written about them and sung for many a year. No
He says
longer,
he.
Inspiration.
no longer would I be but a tribute. There would be tributes of the tribute.
Ooh.
This is just a tribute.
Tribute
Yes.
Better
squared.
believe.
Tribute
it.
squared. Cubed.
Yes.
Cube that
And
tribute.
more.
Square root of a tribute. Tribute.
And what could go wrong with bar on bar action?
Yes, especially now that I actually understand that.
Yeah, well, there you go. I guess, well, clearly that's what they do before performing.
I listened back to
Inspire
that.
each
It was
other.
seriously- Yes.
Oh right, yeah.
absolutely.
See, I was going
Whereas
straight
you
back
were
to
leaving
leaving,
up.
Yeah.
He
was unzipping your fly.
like on
Sure,
his
like-
knees.
Yeah. Churd went into that battle with a cigarette in his mouth. And then realised that
And a questioning conscience.
not what had happened. Oh god, it was like university all over again.
I like
What
that.
are you doing? Why are you taking your clothes off, dude? Like, oh sorry, misread the situation.
I like the idea that you were like went into battle like I just had sex. And you were like, no, you didn't. No,
Yeah.
you didn't.
God, and that's like high school. That wasn't sex, wasn't it? I thought that was
I
sex.
thought
That
that was
wasn't
really
sex.
good sex.
Well,
no.
please, it was inspirational, but it wasn't the intention. No, there would be not just ballads sung about these individuals that could bring light to such a dire situation. There would be idols. There would be people following in their footsteps,
Absolutely.
imitating the art. And there's no greater form of praise than that of
She said
imitation.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, tribute to
And
the tribute.
She says she found Derek in a bar and she told Derek of the troubles. And Derek said he knew of a group of folks that were reliable, that had helped him through some of his toughest adventures. And also, the famous singer, who was more than a good fighter, who wouldn't be able to resist the glory of saving a civilization,
Well,
who could write the songs for her people to sing in victory.
But then they said no, it sounds too dangerous, so he called us.
Absolutely.
I need backup.
Well, we had Galleon, is that right? Galleon, sorry, who stood firm along with Altman. We had Hazar, sorry. I just remember this cry of exclamation, Hazar, who did everything to bring it to its knees. Good old Shirt. Who, believe it or not, created this manifestation of physical might, which barely, almost towered above that of the dragon, but certainly matched its might with its own. And yes, Remy, the voice for Sola, was there somewhere.
It's a bit hazy.
Was present.
Has anyone seen the movie The Replacements with Keanu Reeves? I know it's had a bit of a Keanu theme,
No.
but there's a bit in it where the what's his name?
Is that the one about his family?
Right. No, it's where all the American football players quit. They go on strike, and they get all these other players in that didn't really get. They could have been good, but never got the chance. Sort of thing. And there's this bar fight, and it's brilliant. And it starts off with one of my favourite things. Is basically they're having a bit of banter between the replacement players and the old players that are on strike. And the deaf guy goes, the best thing about being deaf is that you can't hear assholes like you. And he goes, what did he say? He says, you asshole. And this bar fight breaks out, and what's his face? Rhys Fiennes, Welsh fella. Ralph Fiennes. I should know that in Welsh. But he basically in one of the bits he kicks the guy. He's a football player, but he's the kicker of the thing. And he's like, come on then. He goes, whoa, stop. And then kicks him in the nuts. And the guy's like, okay, yeah. Okay, and he goes like that, and he just kicks him in the nuts. And then they get locked up and they're in prison or in jail. One of those big jail scenes, and he's like, oh yeah, we gave him some, didn't we? Oh, did you now? This guy just goes, I saw you hiding behind the jukebox. And it was the most Welsh sort of sentence ever. Like, this guy always said it in Welsh accent. I saw you hiding behind the jukebox.
He did that perfectly.
No.
I'm almost disappointed now that is an Altman's accent.
I can't retain any accent for any length of time.
No, I seem to have struggled of late, to be fair.
I slip in and out, but I've done a lot of gigs in Wales recently, so my Welsh accent's
been topped up.
Yeah, it's been topped up.
There you go, love it.
Sweet. So, where were we? Sorry, totally.
But going back to Keanu Reeves, there is also a film where he's trying to recreate his family.
Oh yeah, it starts with the dog, and then
I can't remember.
yeah,
His wife and his children die. It's very horrific, and he creates this
Oh,
whole
the
yeah.
computer thing.
And he
Yeah,
closes
and
it.
I can't. Sorry, when you said the replacements in Keanu Reeves, I was like, well, that must be it.
It's replicants.
Replicas. Okay, so I wasn't far off the mark,
No,
but still,
yeah.
that's so 2 films I'm clearly going to have to binge watch tonight
Yeah.
before I fall asleep.
Sorry, back to you.
She was
So Remy the voice is desperately trying to sell it to the team.
Enjoying
so to
you
speak.
guys chatting.
yeah. Check
So
this
they're
out.
just going to tell us the story though. The way this works is that Direct starts telling us a story, and it's so vivid. His storytelling's so good that we fall asleep.
Either that or
I don't believe that Remy quite understands that
either
yet.
that or the food or the drink's been spiked, either or, one or the other. Really interesting story.
I like
Or
my
not
version.
both.
To be fair, I like my version because it worked really well for my one shots.
Yeah, that's fair. So yeah,
And don't worry, it might
Direct
be
starts
coming- it might
telling
be
you
coming
about
back.
about meeting Sirana at the time and being led back to where the people were hidden, having to sneak through the ruins of this city of Thay and find this small section, half buried in a hill, where people were still alive. He describes sending messages to his friends, his adventurer friends, and a gold-edged invitation to Remy Farsola
Oh yes.
to invite them down to partake in
No doubt embossed.
the,
Centered.
the adventure to outdo even their previous travels.
There we go.
This
There we
is
go.
not rid an area of a dragon. This is not rescue some magic weapons. This is not find out why the Almond Temple has got activity. This is saving a people.
This is
From the corruption of their own souls.
liberation of the oppressed.
Excellent.
This is salvation. And naturally, they all agreed.
Well, naturally, because they were heroes.
Exactly. They all meet. He and Serrana between them guide them to the safe house. They are shown to the portal room. And on the floor in the portal is a circle, about 10 feet wide, made out of fragments of onyx with arcane sigils connecting them all in a perfect circle. From the centre rises a haze of grey-black smoke. It never comes out of the circle, and there's no scent or smell or anything to it. Serrana says, she pulls from her pocket a large, I'm trying to think how to best describe it, kind of like a scaled up wine stopper.
Mhm.
So it's got an ornate symbol carved on the head, and then a lip, and then three sides come down here. It's about the size of a dagger, but it is blunt, it is made of rock, and it is intricately carved with symbols, so fine that even were Azarth to study it for a week, he couldn't record them all.
I'm stumped.
These were created by Ghoul. These are how you access his Dune Vault, buried deep underground with no physical means of access. She says that they've also heard, and through her own scouting experience, that these key runes can be tuned to open doors inside the building as well.
Okay.
So sometimes a door will be locked, but if you can find someone else that has a key that works on that door, you can bring them together and they'll Bluetooth, for want of a better word, the opening code.
Okay.
So you can unlock the door, which means you don't necessarily have to steal the keys off anybody. You just need to get your key close enough to theirs to download the code.
Okay.
Okay, got it.
Cool.
And she has one of these attunement rocks.
She has one that is attuned to this portal
Mm.
and the first couple of doors on the other side. That's
Yeah,
as
yeah,
far as she's gone before she came back, not wanting to risk being caught. And she activates this. She holds the room over the dark circle, and it bursts into life with a wall of pitch darkness. And she says, "Now the other side of this is sometimes used as some form of garbage disposal. Sometimes the acolytes will come here to experiment on a dark ritual that they are performing, but it is mostly the prisons. Now, because it's used as essentially a bit of a wasteland, there are a few things: zombies, wights, ghouls. I'm sure there was even a vampire spawn down there once. So once we go through, you're going to be on high alert and immediately ready in case there's anything waiting for us.
Well, let's get Chantel out then.
So,
Load it with a good old arrow.
with a final good luck, she says she will accompany you. She hasn't gone far, but she'll follow you for what she can.
Well, maybe she should lead the way. I mean, not that we're not brave, but she clearly knows
Exactly.
the route and where to stand.
Yeah.
You'd think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, she is just. I just realised who she looks like. You'll see. You'll see when we get there.
It's not the queen, is it?
No. No, you'll see who I mean.
Fergie?
Young Sylvana looks like I'll have to.
Jessica's
going to be up there in a second.
It's going to be Super 6, isn't
No.
it?
Yep.
She's described as wearing red and having a deep red hair and a large ornamental necklace.
Yes.
So it's essentially Melisandre from.
My second favourite child burner.
You heard it here, folks. Live on the internet. Live on the internet.
And there's a list that I never knew could exist.
I'm
Felt
going to regret
important to make
asking.
it
There are a number of questions.
First of all, how many people in the top?
Yeah,
Is it a top
I'm
5?
I'm struggling
It's-
with who's first,
It's-
and which one's more important, who's first, or how many are on the list.
And why?
It's a top 5. Number 1 is Anakin Skywalker.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah, he goes into that room. It's not all lightsaber. He's going over to the dark
No.
side. It's
I've just left that to my imagination. I think he just took them in bed.
My my favourite thing about it all is the fact that in the Clone Wars, the cartoon, because of course he's in all of that because it's set between film 2 and film 3, and in that he is this really charming, really nice, sort of almost like an Errol Flynn swashbuckler,
Sure.
mixed with an actual sort of gentleman.
Well, that was Errol Flynn.
And he became like the fan favourite character, the absolute ultimate favourite character in the entire thing. He's the most likeable, he's the best fighter, he's got some of the best storylines, he's got a really nice character arc in it. And then just before the final season came out, someone on one of the forums said, "You realise we've got like 6 weeks before this guy kills a room full of kids." And the fans just went nuts. They were like, "What? No! Oh, yeah, you're right." There was breakdowns, there was existentialism, there was all sorts going on. It was fun. That was a fun day to be in there.
Yeah, it's a heck of a step he takes in a short period of time.
Yeah, it is.
I'm going to join you to save my wife. Kill some kids? Yeah, no worries. I'll be right back.
It's
like,
got no
wow.
problem with
Well,
that.
the needs must.
Yeah.
I mean, as a parent, we all understand the urge.
Yeah.
A room full of 20 children.
Yeah. I'm the substitute teacher. We're going to be learning anatomy.
Dead.
Yeah.
You need your head.
Yeah. Stop running away.
Timmy, well volunteered.
It's the
Stop
ultimate. It's
running.
the ultimate. I'll give you something to create.
Oh dear.
Gotta be careful. If you keep going, there'll be some complaints coming our way.
Number 3 is...
Ofcom regulate.
I mean,
If so, they should probably look at Pornhub. I'm just going to put it out there. But then, mind you, whoever complains about that.
I was going to say, dear Ofcom, I was extremely disappointed. These are not teenagers. As described, I think she's at least 30.
you can tell by the no.
Yeah. It's false advertising and she won't give me back my £2.50. The members area is
fraud.
rubbish.
Contact the fraud hotline.
Yeah. It's like we just keep falling for the same scams. Back in the 90s, it was like,
Do
hey,
we?
do you want to chat to hot girls? Oh yeah, £2.50 an hour. Yes, I do. Straight on the phone, just me and another bunch of.
Hot girls have nothing to say though. That's the
They don't.
problem.
That's the
Hi.
problem.
Yeah.
Just like, hey, who's in the blue room? Apparently they had killers. I don't know for sure. But it's like, hey,
You seem to know a lot more about it than I did.
So we should probably explain to the stream this is a room full of men at this point in time, isn't it? Let's face it.
Yeah.
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 Okay. The problem is that hot girls don't have anything to say.
Very often.
And when my friend dialed up that line,
I'll
it was just,
rephrase that, sorry. The hot girls on those phone lines
yeah.
were not the sharpest tools in the shed.
No.
Wouldn't know.
Sat on the sofa shaking their bums.
Yeah. Just like you dialed
My
in,
mate
hang on, I'll
has
just
that
turn
number
Corey down.
memorised. Like he was telling a joke about it and he said it and I googled it and like I was like, is that the that is the number? How do you know that? Like it's and then one of my friends found out quite recently that it's been shut down, Babe Station, for like 10 years and he's like,
I don't know.
How did I not know this? I'm like, probably a good thing.
So a friend of mine once overshared in a pub, and he turned around and said, "Yeah, I just can't come unless I can hear the Babe Station theme tune." What? Too much.
What you do, you can do this because you're on the bar, but what you
No,
do is
I can't do Babe Station.
on a really busy night, you just play the Babe Station theme, and all folks will go, "I know this. How do I know this?" And then they realize, and then they look around,
People go,
and eye contact is made, and then no one knows, and all the guys are like, "What is it?" And they go, "I can't tell you. I forgot. I don't know."
Everyone reaches for the phone.
Yeah. Shazam! What's this?
Shazam. Yeah.
I was heard was if someone said like, I think I know you from somewhere. The correct response should always be, I didn't know you were into that kind of shit.
Well, so one of the B&Bs on Kings Road used to be.
Wait.
No, used to be a brothel.
Frequented by. Oh, really?
Yeah, it is now. It is now a restaurant and hotel.
Well, I feel better about that, but not quite.
Which
One
is
of
a front
my-
for.
One of my friends worked there as a waitress.
Okay.
Not the restaurant it is currently now. The restaurant it was before when
Sure.
it was shut down for being a brothel. And a guy was in, and they've got this nice feature in the middle of the room. There's this like wrought iron staircase that goes up to the back, and that's how you get from the restaurant to the toilets. And I sat there, and this guy's at the table and is like, "I'm sure I've been here before. This is a lovely place. Has it always been a restaurant?" He's like, "Well, we've only been open a year or so." And he goes, "No, I've come here 5-6 years ago." And the way she says it, she did her best to avoid
The word.
saying the word for as long as possible, but he would not stop asking her about it. And so eventually she turned around at one point and goes, "Well, it did used to be a brothel." And the guy was like, "Huh?" And his wife on the other side of the table was like, "What?"
Epic.
Yeah, and she says that the boss wasn't happy. Mainly because they threw the plates at each other. But yeah,
Waitress would be there going, "Creak!
My
How was
favourite
everybody
thing
this
was-
happen?"
I used to work at Spearmint Rhinos back in the day as a bartender, and people at the end of the night would often ask, thingy, where to go, where to go, and I didn't really know because that's not really my thing. But I'd heard people talk about a place called Winston's in Leeds,
Okay, sure.
so I'd tell them to get,
Get on the train.
for a tip, I would tell them I'd sort them out a taxi to Winston's in Leeds. I found out 3 years after I stopped working at Spearmint Rhinos that Winston's had been shut for 10 years. So I was getting the tip. This taxi driver was driving them out to some random place in Leeds and just dumping these guys in Leeds. And he was getting extra money for doing it, and I was getting extra money
These
for
horny,
it.
angry men
Stuck in the middle of nowhere.
roaming the streets,
So they're trying to figure out which house is the brothel.
pumping Lime Street.
Dear trading standards.
And you know when you just like,
Brilliant.
I love it. I just love the idea of these guys being like, we've been fucked. I was hoping to
Not
get
in the way they
fucked, but I
wanted.
didn't get it.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
We're gonna get fucked. Well, technically.
But it's the fact that the taxi driver never said anything to me or to them.
Was it the same taxi driver?
Most of the time, yeah.
He
'cause
probably
it was-
thought, we've got a great arrangement here.
Brilliant, yeah.
I dump him, and then I run off. Brilliant.
And then I get my mate to pick him up in the taxi and bring him back. But yeah, for many years.
Epic.
Well, I think I was at Rhinos for about a year and a half, 2 years. But for the entire time,
Not once would one person come back into the bar a few months later and
You
go,
wouldn't though, would you?
You definitely wouldn't.
You just
no, because
wouldn't.
it was all conference people.
"Okay."
When Harrogate
Okay.
was more of a well, I mean,
Conference
it's still a conferencey place, but
And it will be again.
It will be again, but it used to be. There's been a bit of a drop because hotels put their prices up and stuff like that, and people stopped coming. And bars that used to do really great deals on food started charging over the odds for a burger. You know, like 15 quid for a cheeseburger, and all of a sudden the conferences stopped
Yeah, I've
coming
been there.
because it's because the conference they were like before, like they used to go to the place, one of the places I went, which was United State, and it was 2 meals for a tenner at lunchtime.
Yeah.
We'd be rammed every conference. We wouldn't have enough places for people to sit, and then everywhere else started putting the prices up, and then the conference slowly died off.
The market is for quite often if you're going somewhere for work, you get an allowance, don't you? Quite simply. So it's £30. So that's a good meal and a drink, isn't it? Quite simply. So you know they will go to places where they can spend the most. The perception of kissing, and also there's the barbell recovery. That you know the cheaper places and the more expensive places do well. The ones in the middle.
Yeah,
fail. You know.
We used to as well. I mean, I say we, me. I'm starting to realise I might have been a little bit unethical in the old days.
Only a bit.
In the old days. But what we do is a group of businessmen would come in, several conferences and what have you, and they'd be like, "Oh, we'll have a round. I'll get this round, guys." But what we do, we print each of them the same receipt.
Yeah.
So they'd all take the receipt for every round they had back for their expenses, so they'd all get their thingy, and they'd tip us.
That's a nice way of doing it, isn't it?
And it just,
that's a nice way of doing it.
It's not necessarily the most ethical way, but it worked well. It was good for the bar. It was good for the
good for
individuals
them.
behind the bar. It was good for them.
Yeah, good for them.
And,
and
it went really, really well. And then it just the hotel started charging over the odds because there's a conference on, and all of a sudden there's no one coming to the conferences anymore because it's not cost effective anymore.
Yeah.
You know, at the time it was relatively. I mean, it was never cheap to come to Harrogate. To be honest, it's Harrogate, but it became just not worth it because all the bed and breakfasts were charging the same sort of price as the hotels were. So the hotels put their prices up to differentiate from the bed and breakfasts. So the bed and breakfasts just kept going like that. And then, sometimes it's £200-300 to stay in Harrogate for a night. And it's like
it's hard to make that stack, isn't it? I agree. I've seen that before as well.
And then Leeds opens an event centre. Was it on the wharf? I think.
Yeah.
So a lot of the bigger stuff goes there now because there's lots of cheap hotels in it. So the more business and stuff goes there.
It's a good setting though, to be fair, in Leeds as well.
Yeah.
So Harrogate's got competition. That's the thing.
Yeah.
And
it's easier on the train as well.
Yeah.
You know, so
congestion is not such an issue.
Yep.
Yeah. I hope Harrogate Borough Council listening to this.
They won't.
Not in its entirety. No, they don't listen a lot. I agree.
You could mail this to them, they still wouldn't listen to it. They're just going for the money now.
They're too busy thinking it's great.
And I don't care that that's the Geek Bar saying that because it's true.
Yeah.
Harrogate Council's been corrupt for decades.
Oh yeah, but of late, it has just gone.
Fair enough.
It's gone Trump style. It's gone. Yeah, politicians have always been a bit iffy. Oh shit, what just happened? Like literally everything that's been a no-no for ages has just been. Yeah, okay, we'll have a Starbucks on the most congested road in Harrogate. Okay, yeah, we'll turn that into a this. Yeah, okay, we'll turn that into this. Yeah, we'll do that.
No, you still can't have a Tesco, peasants.
No, we're getting a Tesco. We're getting a Tesco.
No, it's not. Still not been approved. They've replied again. It hasn't been approved.
Is this the area that's across from
what used to be Little Wonder?
I was going to say the B&Q type. Yes, yeah, absolutely. Is that 7.6 acres or something?
The bit where 2 weeks ago,
Big fuck off hole.
Okay.
And popped the gas pipe.
Yeah.
They drilled the big hole in the wrong place and went through the wrong gas pipe, not the old one.
Oh, does that explain the difficulties that the
Yeah.
It's
2 metre wide
here.
hole.
Yeah.
It's what? Nearly half a mile away? And
We
stank of gas here.
We
had the same issue.
We received a knock on the door from a gas man and we got told to shut all your windows and don't light fireworks outside.
Yeah.
To which I was like,
well, I'm not going to light them inside.
You go out the house.
Because that's
and
the first thing you do when it stinks of gas.
You go out outside and it smells of gas. Outside smells of gas. And your first instinct is to light a firework.
It's Jenny Fields. They have to cover all bases.
Yeah, he doesn't live in Jenny Fields. He lives in New Bath.
Further up than that.
You might as well get a postcode in it. An Westbridge reference.
Yeah, nearly Built Range School. So.
Yeah, the smell was unreal.
That's what I used to love about my house because I lived at the bottom end of Jenny Fields and it was a HG1 postcode because technically it counts as New Park. And my mum and dad's house is a HG3 postcode, which is technically Killingham Moor, which means I've never actually lived in Jenny Fields. Based on the dry stone walls, which was one in my mum's house, was literally the garden wall. At the back of the garden was the divider between Jenny Fields and Killingham Moor. And when I lived thingy, it was like 2 houses up from me was the wall. So it was like it's Jennifields though, isn't it? And I'm like, well, technically, no, it's not. I don't care because everyone goes, oh, Jennifields. I think you'll find we live in Killinghorn Moor, don't you know? Like, there's literally a dry stone wall that divides the two. The people from that area trick or treat in the same area because they know all the rich people have the nice sweeties.
Oh, do they now? If only I'd known that last night.
Oh, mate, I'm the king of it. I know the best streets. Me and Dill, we get in the car. We go to Dragon, not Dragon Parade, one of the dragons.
Yeah.
Where there's a friend of ours have like a full on. They go crazy with Halloween every year. They've got American candy and stuff like that. I'd say most, about 10 houses on that street do Halloween. Probably because this house goes all out. They're like, it's 3-story houses and they've got stuff in the windows and stuff like that, so people get into it a bit more there. Then we drive up and down a couple of them,
searching for
the big houses, and then we head up into Jennifields, the top end. Killinghorn Moor. Sorry people. Killinghorn Moor, and head round and look over basically over the top ones, and then there's a couple of areas in Bilton.
Nice
and
one.
that's our
your
little
route.
day. And then
I
we
like
pop
it.
in and see Grandma, and then we pop in and see Julia's mum and dad.
So I went trick-or-treating with the little one.
If you'd gone past mine, you'd seen a bucket on the floor and taken the rest of the sweets.
Now, to be fair, Dill is stupidly good at stuff there.
Yeah, no, but you'd have gone, it's Sid's house, there'll be more inside, I'll just take them all.
Cheers. No, Dill's hilarious. Like, if there's a bucket, if someone goes, oh, I hope yourself take more than one, he'll just take one sweet. He won't take any more than that, and that's not from me. I'd be like, handful. But Dill's just like one sweet.
Right.
And he, like, literally, we told him he's got a big bowl of candy, and we're just like, yeah, one a day. He's like, is it okay if I have this one? Like, you can have whichever one you want, but you can only have tops one a day because, you know, sugar, or you can have it all on Wednesday when you go to school and you can take it to your mum's house. Eat it all just after school, just before the end of school. Just sit there, eat all the sugar,
and then be sick.
Well, obviously, Ruby couldn't go trick or treating, so she was disappointed. So I made a little
of course, she couldn't.
So I made a scavenger hunt
around
the house with some sweets.
That's a nice idea. That's nice.
He says that, but what he means is he dropped his sweets.
Around, picking them up.
Where the frig are my sweets?
Yeah.
No, I wrote clues for her and everything. They were easy clues.
Yeah.
Although one of them, I put where Daddy sleeps, thinking she'd instantly think, oh, bed. She went, but you couldn't have put it on the sofa because I've been sat on the sofa.
You fall asleep a lot on the sofa.
I'm all for that.
Yeah, we'll clarify. It's because I fall to sleep on the sofa, not because my wife kicks me to the sofa.
I was going to say, my kids seem to sleep on the sofa more than this seem to sleep in my bed.
That was funny.
Yeah, no, I went trick-or-treating with the little boy for the first time ever, last night. And it was the first time for me in like 25 plus years type of scenario. Last time I went trick-or-treating, you know, you had a bin bag as a cape and a 50p maximum. That was it.
Yeah.
You know, and that was a Halloween costume.
And some tricks.
Like shaving foam or toilet roll, because you thought, well, I guess that's the thing, isn't it?
7th finger in a matchbox. But kids, you say trick these days. Trick or treat, trick. Show me your trick. What?
Yeah, I'm not trick. I've done that. No, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. When you say trick or treat, you give me sweets. Yep, that's.
I think I slightly went for friends. I wasn't allowed to go trick or treating until I was 15.
Oh man!
And bearing in mind, it's made worse by the fact that because my mum and dad both worked up at Menwith Hill, from the age of 6 months, I was at either daycare or the rec centre every Halloween, watching everyone get ready for this ridiculous Americanized Halloween party, and then we'd go home and be told I wasn't allowed out.
Halloween parties are pretty
My parents were like, no, you don't want any American crap, and now they love it.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, no one came round. They're like, we haven't got a pumpkin out. She's like, yeah. They're like, well, if you want people to come. Oh, we don't want people to come. Oh, well, shut up.
Yeah, catch me too.
They're not going to come unless you've got the light on your porch.
It's like the unwritten rule, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's an unwritten rule that I didn't really know about till recently, but I say recently since having done. But unwritten rule, if there's a pumpkin out, that means you knock on the door.
These rules didn't exist when I was a kid.
No.
So
I remember everywhere.
Exactly. I remember going up one side of the street,
demanding sweets
crossing
from
the road.
strangers.
Exactly. Crossing
Very
the road,
different side.
and then going down the next street. And when we saw some kids we knew, we could sort of say, well, where have you been? Oh, was that a good road? Okay, thank you. Yeah, you want to try this one? Go to number 16. that's exactly what happened. But now you have to phone in advance. Just
Send an official letter to all the houses you
well,
intend to visit.
that's it. Absolutely. Make sure it's prearranged, that type of thing, and give them a time slot.
I do like the idea that there was
gluten-free
a thing that went out. They're like, watch out parents for edibles because they look like sweets now. And I'm like, there is no one.
No
that
one's
has got
giving
edibles,
their stuff
drugs
away.
Not to kids anyway. Like,
I don't know.
That's what some of that always have got me. Check for drugs. No one is giving their drugs away.
Yeah.
not on purpose. Not on purpose. There may have been a mistake. I'll give you that, but no one is deliberately giving away.
Yeah. Mummy, this guy's house is really cool. You open it and smoke comes out. It's like, no, we don't go to that one. We're not going to that one.
It used to be
He's got a corpse in the garden. Yes, he has. It's all
That's-
pretend. It's all pretend.
Let's go. Dill's creepy as anything though. I'll show you.
Theo,
So-
Halloween is Theo's favourite holiday, and it's
Yeah.
a kid thing now.
Dill
Yeah.
turned round to me 2 weeks before his birthday a couple of years ago. I was like, "Oh, what do you want to do for your birthday party?" And he's like, "Halloween," and I'm like, "Dill's birthday's in June." Luckily, I have a lot of Halloween stuff, so we were able to cobble together this Halloween thing. But it was just ridiculous because it was like, okay, we can do this.
That's good though. That is good.
But where is it? Yeah.
Our daughters were determined to watch a horror movie. They were sort of like, well, what
Yeah.
possible thing? Because horror movies are really hard to watch.
So that was me.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
So what does my son decide that he wants to be his costume?
That's very cool. I'm creepy.
And he kept, every time someone answered the door, he would go, "Come out to play." I'm like, Dylan, stop him, please. He did it in the car as I was driving as well. He just went,
Brilliant.
"Come out
Brilliant.
to play."
So
I
Theo, bless him, he was dancing at this Halloween party to Thriller, and they learnt the dance move and everything, the head twitch and the all arms and the stepping and what the job lot. And so I mentioned that it was a music video. He said, "Oh, can we watch it?" Absolutely, of course we can. Of course, I would have forgotten there's this intro that is absolutely terrifying when you're 5.
Yeah.
So I popped it on and went to get a squash.
Oh no!
2 minutes later, the poor child's terrorised. He's literally,
Dumbo.
Dumbo. It's the pink elephant dance.
No.
No, that's
no,
freaky.
the
No,
bit
no,
where they
that's
take
the
his
reason
mum
I-
away. I went out of the room to get
Oh,
something, and I come back in
yeah.
and Dylan's in floods of tears. "Why did you leave?" I'm like, "I don't
For
know,
me,
I'm sorry."
at the cinema,
Yeah,
the
Dumbo's
Disney film, it
cool.
was Bambi. First 2 minutes.
Yeah,
Bambi.
no, I just
Oh.
haven't watched that.
Yeah.
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 After about 3 or 4 Disney movies, I'm like, we're not watching
Well,
Disney anymore. This
Well,
is not.
that was the first film I ever saw at the cinema with parents, or my dad in particular. And he turned around and said, "Do you want to go to that cinema?" I was like, "No."
Mine,
No,
mine
no,
was.
no,
this
that
is
was
how messed
horrific.
up my childhood was. Mine was The Black Cauldron,
Ooh.
which is dark and spooky as hell.
Yeah,
And then, spoilers, they kill the pig, and I was like,
Oh.
but I didn't realise how bad it was.
Mm.
All these movies, I remember watching this kid going, "Oh yeah, they were amazing," and then I'm like sat there with Dilla going, "We're not watching this." I just remembered what I
Well-
click. All the movies end at a middle bit, and it's all lovely and fine. Everyone's okay.
Yeah.
Through the film. Sorry, just.
What's the dinosaur as well? The good dinosaur.
Oh, the good dinosaur's horrible.
Yeah, it's
I'm not
horrific.
seeing that.
It's the
I'm not seeing
worst.
that.
Horrible.
No, I think
At the
what-
end, Dill's like, "Does he find his mum?" I'm like, "Yes, he does." They just didn't
I've
have
not
enough
seen that.
film.
the worst one, what is it, is Watership Down.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
Oh,
100%.
down is
100%.
brutal. Had that on VHS and watched it
Yeah.
a lot of times.
That
Never
is a
again.
hell of a
Never again.
call. Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't
Oh,
think
the
it
number of
because-
times I started watching.
I don't
Watership
even like
Down
rabbits.
Yeah.
and got
No,
bored
this was the
because
thing.
Especially when my parents are like, "We'll put you in front of the TV, Warship Down." No.
Thing is, though,
Yeah.
as a kid, I don't think it got me.
Oh, it got
But
me.
like, as a parent,
When you watch
watching
it
it
back, it's
you're like,
fuck.
"This is so."
Well, I saw it for
And
the
the
first time
rats
in the
in the
80s where they didn't censor the blood or anything. You know,
Yeah.
it was just full on
Yeah,
horror.
same.
It starts out nice, lures you, false sense of security, lets you drop your defences, and then it says, "Here you go, slaughter."
Yeah, all these
Yeah.
rabbits just being murdered. You're like,
Absolutely.
General
But
Ringwald is
Something
Wow.
Yeah.
Something I completely forgot about. So when we were locked down, Vanessa turned around and said, "Oh, we're gonna have a family film." Okay, fine. I had something to do. Stepped out of the room, and she was what she put onto. Was it? I can't remember what it was, but she put on Honey I Shrunk the Kids. It's a great film. Great film.
Oh,
But
I
do you
know the scene,
remember?
yeah.
Do you remember when they're coming back through the garden and they seem to be friendly? It's like ant. And the ant decides, you know what? No. So you can escape. I will hold the line against the spider scorpion thing, whatever. And bless him. Poor Teddy. He's 4 at this point, and he turns around and says, "Will it be all right?" Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's going to be fine. Catches them up at the end. Should we turn it off now? You know, yeah.
I don't want to watch this anymore.
No. But it's something that I completely forgotten as a kid. Forgotten about as an adult. But as a kid, I remember that same thing and get upset about that same moment.
Yeah, I didn't cope with that scene at all. I was 12 at the cinema when I saw that.
I was a similar age.
Yeah, and I was with my mates, and I was like, and the worst thing is you sit there like, I cannot believe this is affecting me. It's a stupid fucking. And Rick was like, why am I crying? Why can't I stop?
Yeah,
it's unreal.
Yeah, it's all good stuff though, isn't it? Cinema, that's it.
The last one that got me like that, which my wife has never let me live down, is stupid because the rest of the movie does no impact on me whatsoever. But just the fact that he's not a stupid ape, he's actually really clever and learns sign language, albeit a bit too late, is the Jack Black King Kong movie.
Yeah!
I had no idea it was coming, and it was awful. Because I was just sat in the cinema, I was crying like a baby for no reason. And when the film ended, the guy next to me got up, started to come this way to get out, saw me sat there crying, and just went, fuck's sake, and turned around and had to go the long way around. I was sat there going, I don't know why this has impacted me.
I remember really enjoying that film, and the only problem I had with it at the time was there's like an hour at the beginning that could have been cut out.
Yeah.
It's unnecessary. They get to the island, they get the ape. We don't need that to take an hour and involve a bunch of other fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed the film. I thought it was some really good acting, some really good film, some really good storytelling. And then everyone hated it and dissed on it and said all sorts of horrible things about it. I'm like,
yeah, there are some films I haven't enjoyed in life, and unfortunately, Peter Jackson King Kong films are those.
It's far too bloated and everything. But the bit at the end where he's trying to protect her and she's trying to protect him is because she's literally like, if I stand in front of you, the planes won't shoot, and he's like, but no, get behind me because I'm trying to protect you. And
yeah, but the planes are shooting, get behind me. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm just like, oh, god damn it. And I've watched it once, I've never watched it
But
since.
would you? Or would you say, no, I get it, shoot the thing?
No, because he's not a stupid monkey, he's really clever.
Okay.
One of those other films, but one of those other films you don't expect the ending is, what was it, Marley and Me? Owen Wilson.
Marley and Me.
Yeah.
Oh, Marley, yeah.
I didn't watch it out of principle. I knew I wasn't going to survive that movie. I have issues with a lot of stuff.
No,
I'm just like, no, I'm not watching a movie that I know a dog is going to die in.
My friends
It's bad enough
didn't tell me
surprise.
anything about it. Oh, this is really good fun. And the ending goes, I'm there going.
Yeah.
Like honestly, that film, I never took Owen Wilson seriously as a performer. Ever since I watched that stupid Haunted remake he's in.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he's just playing this really weird American football, but he's an adult dude. It's really hard to describe. The film itself is weird, and his role in it is odd. He's clearly been given some really bad direction. He spends the entire film going like this. And it was the film where his comes from.
I'm not.
Wow.
Yeah, that really weird sort of, and the entire everything he says is in that sort of breathy, wondrous, but I'm not really bothered.
There's a clip on YouTube that someone's replaced one of the major Star Wars lightsaber fights with just Owen Wilson going.
Wow. And then I saw Marley and Me. And I sat, and the film ended, and I'm sat there in tears, and I'm like, he's not allowed to be a good actor in a film that a dog dies. Not only is the dog dying sad because I love dogs, but he sells it so hard.
Yeah.
Like I genuinely feel that it's his dog and he's falling apart at the end when it's time for Marley to go. And it's just.
I've never watched it for that reason. I couldn't cope with Turner and Hooch.
Good.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right.
I'm going to trouble you now.
I'm K9.
It's now a series.
I love K9.
Turner and Hooch?
Yeah.
On Disney Plus.
Oh.
I can't decide whether I want to watch it.
It's the son of the original Turner,
It is.
and they've deliberately given him a dog because Hooch made Turner a better person, and the son's becoming a bit of a dickhead, and they want literally the story of the
It was
series
supposed
is
to help him
they
guide
want to
us.
do the same thing again to make the son a better person.
Yeah. The only thing is, and this because a few years ago I watched Turner and Hooch with the kids, and the kids, as usual, weren't bothered at all, and I was in floods of tears. But just in case, I had to make sense. Actually, if you look, and I hadn't picked this up when I was a kid, but now it's so obvious. When Hooch has been shot and they're taking him in, the dog is literally the most happy acting.
Yeah.
Its tail is wagging like mad. It's looking up. It's the most alive dog you've ever seen. It's the worst acting by any dog ever. It's not lying still or anything. It's like Tom Hanks is like, oh, Hooch, you died. And Hooch is like, yeah, let's go, let's do it. His tail's going absolutely mad. And when you see it on the film now, it's hilarious.
One of my favourite things is, particularly when they get dogs to play wolves, so wolf dogs or larger huskies and that bear resemblance to them, 90% of the time, their tails are CGI'd. Because the actual real life dog is so happy to be there with its trainer, and there's lots of people, and I'm doing things, and I like doing things because I get treats. And the tail's going like this, even though the mouth's going, the tail's going like this, because it's all a game and that's what they've been taught to do. So they have to CGI the wolf tails in 90% of the time if there's a wolf in a film. It's been CGI'd to look more vicious than it is, because the actual dog is just having a whale of a time.
There's so many of those dog films that you don't expect them to be sad endings. Like you watch them and this is a really happy film, but then all of a sudden you're there like,
except
bits throughout the film you're there like 8 Below with Paul Walker.
Yeah.
You didn't expect that to be as what it was, but by the end of it you're just there like.
Hachiko's a really good story.
Yeah.
Did anyone watch Togo?
Yes.
On Disney Plus.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
Oof.
So, do you know the story of Balto, the dog that delivered medicine in Alaska in the snow?
No, I do not.
Famous story about a dog team that took some diphtheria medicine. Look, after the passes had closed and this village was supposed to be shut off for the winter, there was an outbreak of diphtheria and it hit the orphanage, and the kids were gonna die from it. They didn't have any medicine for it. They didn't have any way of treating them, and this guy volunteered to go for several days via dog sled to the nearest town, get the supplies, and come back. And the legend is that this dog Balto led the way there and back and found them back in the snowstorm, and they arrived in something like record time for the route, with half of the dogs frozen, nearly dead. They all survived and all made it back.
Yeah.
Is the legend. Actually, in real life, Balto ran the last route because the lead dog pulled up late, like half a day out.
Okay.
The lead dog was actually called Togo.
I get you.
And they've made a film about the real life events rather than the legend that it followed for it. And it's really nice because the dog setter, the driver, is played by Willem Dafoe.
Okay.
Because apparently the guy was a bit of a sourpuss and literally no one expected him to do anything like that. He was a bit of a bastard. But he was also the only guy that was that good at driving the sled. And when they said, look, we need someone, do we have any volunteers? He volunteered. Him and Togo went and they made it most
And everyone
of the way
said,
back.
fuck, good.
Yeah,
Good.
They went.
It's a win-win. If he gets there, great. If he doesn't, well, that's no loss.
And he brought them back, and like, obviously, bits of it are dramatised for the film. But there was a bit where in the story, Blizzard is like zero visibility.
Sure.
The musher, he knows the route, but he's been out the game for a while. He's been doing his own thing in the local area. He hasn't done this trek because he doesn't like people. Why would he go to a city?
Yeah.
And they come round the corner, and Togo pulls up short and tangles the lines and trips all the other dogs up. And the guy says he got off the sled and he's shouting at the dogs and saying, "Oh, you idiot, what are you doing?" Goes to grab Togo's thing and puts his foot on the edge of a cliff that like he couldn't see there. He gets to there before he can see it, and they were going straight over it. And Togo knew they wouldn't stop and just threw himself under all the other dogs to tangle it all up and stop them from going over. And that was when Balto took over because he pulled a muscle or broke his leg or something.
Injured,
Of course, in the film, they're running alongside a cliff and the sled goes over, and Togo and the whole team have to hold the guy on the sled as it's like drifting along the edge of a cliff. But the film itself's really good. It's closer to the real life story than a lot of things.
There you go.
And it's Willem Dafoe who at the moment is at the top of his game acting. He's bastard, he's a bit crotchety old man, but he clearly loves the dogs and loves being out on the sled, and he gets into the role and plays it quite well. He spent like 6 weeks in Alaska learning how to drive a sled.
Because you
so
would.
that he could do it.
Good.
Well, I would.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
I follow a couple of them on Twitter, and it started just because there was lots of pictures of cute sled dogs and funny stories with them. And now it's evolved into, I couldn't do it. Like there's this race called the Iditarod that's like a 10-day race where you get on your sled at the start, you race for like 18, 20 hours a day, get off, sleep for 4 hours in the shelters provided, and get back up and go again 5 hours later. And you just do that for 10 days. And I'm sat there and I'm like, if I go to bed an hour late, I'm knackered for 3 weeks. Jesus, and they're doing this in the cold, and the dogs just go.
Yeah.
They just keep going.
Sounds like fun. But
Yeah, it's on Disney Plus. It's Togo. Really,
Here we
really
go.
recommend it.
The other thing on Disney Plus, going back to Turner and Hooch,
Turner and Hooch, yep.
thank you, is the new series. Okay, unfortunately, so I started out watching it just because it was a good fill when it came on for me. I kind of lost the thread of it a little bit, to be honest with you. But I would say definitely watch episode 2.
Oh,
Turner and Hooch.
Yeah.
Oh right.
really?
I'll give it a go. What's it? And that's on Disney.
Yeah.
It's on Disney
Alright,
Plus?
I'll have to get Disney at Christmas.
I'm not going to give you the title because it might give it away.
Yeah, don't.
But don't even look at the title. Just watch episode 2. And there are a few series where I can turn around and say that I really enjoyed what the script writing quite often doesn't match. I mean, Battlestar Galactica, for example, was good, but third season there were so many fillers and there was just 3 episodes that were decent, and they had tons of cash. These guys don't have, I don't think, that much cash, but I think that they've done wonders with the script for episode 2. I'm probably overselling it, but
I'll give it a go.
it's got to be watched.
I'll get the Kleenex and I'll give it a go.
Got to be done.
I take the recommendation, absolutely, yeah.
It's only 45 minutes. I mean,
I'll give the series a look. It's one of these where the bit that put me off about it was it's the kid from Drake and Josh, and not the horrible one. It's Josh from Drake and Josh, and the advert's like, oh, he's this SWAT officer or detective or something. And it's like,
yeah, he
he
wants
looks
to
like
be.
he's about 15 in cosplay.
Yeah.
It's just, and I'm just like, I couldn't believe it. But with a recommendation, I'll give it a.
So like
I'll watch the
episode
first 2 episodes.
The problem is I've kind of lost the thread with the rest of it because they sort of try and push the love interest side of things.
Of course.
And I've just dialed out of that one. It's like, you could have been a bit more action adventure and that would have gauged my interest for a bit longer. But you're trying to give some depth to a character that is so shallow, but that's fine.
I was going to ask something, I can't remember.
I'm actually struggling for anything to watch anything anymore. I think because of lockdown, I've seen everything that I could possibly
I was
watch,
going to say.
and the things that I've already seen. So
Yeah.
To keep it balanced, I just watched Q-Force, which is
the hamster film.
No.
No,
That's G-Force. So what is
very similar.
Q-Force?
Q-Force is basically, it's not the CIA, but it's something else. Like I think it's like the IAA or something like that. But basically, it's a secret agent type or agency thing.
The Netflix cartoon.
The Netflix cartoon. Now, warning, it is a lot more graphic than I thought it was going to be. There is a point where someone spits on their hand before they do something naughty. So if you're under a certain age, you should not watch this cartoon whatsoever. However, it's one of these things that's like, I can't decide. Me and Matt were talking about it the other day. I can't decide whether it's really good because he's a guy who openly comes out as being gay when the Don't Ask, Don't Tell thing comes out, and he kind of gets a shit posted because of it. And he's built himself a team, and he's got a lesbian mechanic, a drag queen disguise artist, I'm assuming non-binary to be fair, it's never really mentioned, but non-binary computer hacker, and him being uber gay, but still like a badass spy. Their spy vehicle, is a Subaru. Those that know that Subaru used to market.
Subaru Outlander or Outback or
Outback,
whichever
yeah.
it is, yeah.
They used to deliberately market
Advertise
that
at
towards
lesbian
women, and because they had more disposable income. Anyway, that's a whole different thing. But yeah, they did, and it was brilliant. They used to put something like one of their marketing strategies was it's so much more fun when you come out. And
Oh,
stuff
yeah.
like that. There's little things in there that if you weren't paying attention, you're like, oh yeah, okay. But then when you know, you're like, oh my god, yeah, that's obvious. How did I not notice that? And things.
Okay.
But yeah, so and they sort of, but it's all these stereotypically gay things, and I can't decide whether it's someone. We were saying we can't decide whether it's someone that's written it to be as inclusive as possible to
Yeah.
include the different elements and what have you.
Someone who is
Or-
tired of not seeing representation, so they've put in as much representation as they can.
I mean, I ran a gay bar for 2 years, so
Okay.
some of the stereotypes
So you know, he
are
pops up.
reminiscent of people I know as well. So it's, I was just sort of going, oh my god, like, this is that is cool. I don't know if that's funny or wrong. I can't decide, but it was a good thing. It's definitely worth a watch.
I'll give it a go. It flew under my radar.
Yeah, it was one of those ones that I sort of went, that won't be any good, and then I ran out. Like say, you ran out of stuff to watch, and I was like,
Give it a go.
oh, actually, that was quite entertaining. I enjoyed that.
Invincible on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
It's epic.
Very
Brilliant.
good. The Harley Quinn one that's been on E4.
That's right.
It's on all 4 if you want to catch up for free.
Okay.
But that's far better than I thought it was going to be. It's
I
much
feel
more
like this
clever
is the
writing.
podcast.
Yeah, it has tonight.
This week definitely has.
I don't think any of us are really focused tonight, but hey. On that note, though,
We're finished. We've got 13 minutes.
yeah,
I was going to say,
What can we hit something in 13 minutes? If not,
we
like,
could probably,
is that-
we could probably just see that.
Can I hit direct? See what happens.
But I don't mind a bit of a podcast week and an early finish because, like I say, my dog's going to be up at 5 o'clock in the morning going, walk me! I don't care, the clock's went back, walk me now!
Same with the child, bless him.
Yeah,
Not that he needs walking, but the point is he'll be up.
yeah.
Forgive me.
That's the best thing is about getting a little bit older.
so
Dog's
you
9
step
now,
through
so he
the
gets
portal.
up, he
Sorts himself out.
sorts himself out
Yeah.
and just sat there like, right, you ready to go to school? Yep, cool, she's
And
off.
you arrive
Ooh.
in a small room once it focuses and loads in.
When you say this is bullshit,
Ooh.
'cause you haven't changed the mask.
A
You
welcoming
might have to refresh
party.
it. I'd refresh it.
Does Roll20 include shading and
Yeah.
fog of wall and all that?
Yeah,
Okay.
I have to do that manually
Okay.
to reveal everything. There is a
Bit
dynamic
macho, isn't
lighting
it?
system, but that
It's
where
very difficult and it very rarely works.
it's
for
not just
stuff.
that, it makes everything move really slow. As every character that moves, it has to remap the dungeon for that dynamic lighting.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
And it's just like, oh my god. Yeah. So, you have with you Cyrana and the various party members you've come to know and love, along with Durek and Altman. And you arrive in, as said, this is a bit of a dumping ground, so there's some zombies, a very pale, feral looking vampire spawn.
Okay.
And over
It's not
here
very
is
good
a
for other people, is it?
zombie
it's
that
not very
appears to have a
gross.
bit more going on about it. It's not quite as rotted.
Okay.
And it reacts to your sudden appearance along with the vampire spawn, whereas it takes the zombies a little bit longer to realise you're there.
Okay. So if we just materialise, that literally it.
You literally
can I
stepped
go
out of a
back?
ball of darkness.
This doorway seems far more one way than expected.
Yes, Cyrana is here to help you. I don't know if you'll need her, but she's there if you need options.
Does she
Well-
smell of almonds?
No.
Are we rolling initiative, I'm guessing?
It's likely they get a
I
surprise
don't
round.
think there's any point
No, yeah.
because I don't think this fight's going to be over in 10 minutes.
Okay,
Unfortunately.
Ooh.
we'll leave it
Am I
there.
ready in action?
But yeah, we have had a bit of a spacey night tonight, I'm afraid.
Oh, that's fair news. Fair news.
I get the impression that quite a lot of us are a little bit wandery with our minds today. I know I
I've
am.
just built another business inside D&D for the 3rd time running.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
So yeah, I apologise to our viewers that it's been a bit less interactive and a bit more podcasty than it has
I
in the
was
past.
thinking about that the other day. When I was listening to the last week's stream and decided that I was obscenely loud and really shut up. But you could probably cut it down to literally you cut out the chat and have all the game stuff, and then sort of have a I don't know
Put all
like
the
a
chat together.
yeah exactly, and then have the chat afterwards type of thing, and and you know,
Well,
podcast
that's a
it.
lot of effort.
You keep threatening to do a podcast.
Yeah, I keep saying
I
it'd be
think
quite
it's
cool to
the
do a
way to do
podcast.
it.
but we
Honest.
just sort of
Yeah.
I'd love to host one.
like.
Well, we're going to call it Dyson Men, weren't we? Like the
Yeah,
group.
like our
Oh,
group.
yeah.
Of Dyson
that-
Men.
Yeah.
That's our
It's got to be out there
D&D
already, though,
chat
isn't it?
group. Well, it's our board game.
games, our
Game
board
play.
games.
Okay.
We've even got dice patches with that.
So
with
long
that
as
cool,
I don't have to be.
with that cool. I mean,
Lenny.
No,
although,
okay.
no, although when I first said it, Charlie goes.
I don't like rabbits. So.
Charlie now calls it Vacuum Bros because she heard it as Dyson.
I like
Dyson
that.
Men.
Dyson Men.
Dyson Men.
Yeah.
Well, you know, there's a niche there, isn't there? Let's face it. I don't think anyone else will be out there talking about
for
vacuum
those of you
cleaners.
that
like
don't
you
know
go into
Charlie, she
vacuum mode.
basically changes the name of everything.
Oh yeah.
Like almost everything's.
Ahsoka Tano is now Super Soka.
Supernatural is Spoopy Boys.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it.
But yeah, no, Dyson Men will be. It's just finding time to actually sit down and do it because everything else that's going on, it doesn't.
Well,
I think the easy win though. Like I say, it might be a bit
there's
of work.
that
surely.
app called Anchor that is done by Spotify, and it's an app on your phone.
And it gets your podcast straight on Spotify.
It gets
as well,
you
doesn't
it's
it?
straight on
Yeah.
Spotify and some of the other major ones.
Oh
But
no,
not
I
only
don't
that-
mean necessarily setting it up. That's probably
No.
it wouldn't take long, but it's actually the having the time to sit there and.
Well,
sort of
that's
do
it.
for a few
You,
hours.
there'll have to be some
Yeah.
prep as well.
You
some
can
structure.
also do it because it's an app based. You can invite other people, so you
Via
don't even
their
have to be in the same
Yeah.
location. You can effectively be on a call and it records that call. It's quite cool at that.
Yeah. So there you go, folks. If you wanted some tips on films that are like 20 years old, Disney films to avoid, dog dead
We children.
films.
Yeah.
Also, we talked about good shows to watch at the moment,
Yeah.
and occasionally we've talked about Pat Benatar, the Beholder.
We have.
Made some stupid rock puns. This is becoming a regular week, actually, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a bit, yeah.
Yeah. But yes, it's been
Wanted to be a wet one.
it's been a session. It's been a night. I hope those of you that are here will join us next week or catch up with us after we finish filming next week.
To that, then he's coming to tune in on Thursday.
Oh yeah.
That was my next bit. Don't worry.
Bollocks to come back next week.
We would like to say that this Thursday, the 4th of November, our host and master, Alan,
I wouldn't go master. That's
is
don't like that. That's something makes me uncomfortable.
DMing a 24-hour D&D session. At least 2 people on the table here are going to be joining in for some of it.
I'll
Some
be
of
joining
mine
in at some point. I've just
finding a
said,
Trying to
time.
work out
yeah,
when.
I've just said tell me what time you want me and I'll be there.
Some of our Wednesday group.
You went, oh, I can't do that one.
That was the only one I could do.
It's like, son of a bitch.
But only because my wife's self-isolating and I have to still in the school run.
Yeah, there will be quite a lot of our regulars either joining in or in the bar. People
Well,
will
if
be.
anyone wants to take part, there is still places available, and also if you want to tune in from remotely as well, there
It's
is
going to be
a
on
setup for that
Twitch,
as well.
isn't it?
What I mean is, if someone wants to play remotely, so doesn't want to have to drag their ass over to a
Absolutely.
bar at 3 a.m. in the morning,
As lazy as that is, there's an option.
there's an option for that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's, the whole thing isn't about raising money for the bar, it's raising money for charity. So
Yeah, so
Yeah,
we're raising
Stack
money
Up.
for a charity called Stack Up, which works with veterans and servicemen who are currently deployed overseas in places like Afghanistan and Iraq, wherever they are at the moment, and basically uses Twitch, sets them up with Twitch streams so they can and video game consoles and things like that, so that they can play games with people back home and have some normality. For those abroad, for those that have come back and are veterans and find it hard to connect with people, it's a great way of getting people together. Me and Sid did it with one of our mutual friends, Sam, who was kind of getting closed off and stuff like that. And I actually bought an Xbox just to play this one sodding game that's only on Xbox, and then it turns out it's on PC.
It wasn't then.
It wasn't then, but bought it and we started playing it with him and playing other games with him, and then he started coming out more and stuff like that.
Oh.
You know, he's got a girlfriend and everything. But it sounds silly, but actually communities like that, the online community, very much like the in real life community that we have here, does really help people that are struggling with getting outside of their box or bubbles. I don't know why you looked at you. I do apologise. Just to be fair, but they do some great work, and a couple of Julia, my partner, she's done it before and raised some money for them, and some of her friends who are like big proper streamers, they actually do the streaming now for a living. Came out of the army either for medical reasons and stuff like that. They're not really able to do much else, and they become streamers full time, and they actually make a living from streaming and stuff like that. So it helps in ways that we wouldn't necessarily think it would help. So there's the mental aspect, and there's also the sort of community aspect and stuff like that. And also their main mascot is a T-Rex. So, you know,
It's done deal.
it's done deal. It's done deal. So we will be doing that on Thursday. We will also be raffling off various prizes, including your.
Oh yes.
What are they called again?
The adventure journals, the 5e adventure journals. Yeah, that's right.
The adventure journals, which generously donated to us. We've got a few copies of them.
Yeah, got the
in
number.
different colours. So we'll be doing some raffle sort of obviously generate some more money, and there'll be some other bits and pieces that we'll be throwing in as well. 3D printing stuff, maybe tab at the bar and things like that as always.
I'll take the tab at the bar.
Well, to buy a ticket. So we'll be starting all that tomorrow, all being well, and we'll put some more stuff out on Facebook and all our other social media channels and stuff like that to let you know what's going on. But if you want to take part, just message us on the Facebook page. Like I say, a lot of the people that already do D&D with us are already on, but there are still spaces. And if you feel like playing D&D at 3 AM,
Who doesn't?
give us a shout.
Who doesn't?
As we all do.
Yeah.
To be
It
fair,
will
if
be
you're going to find them
interesting.
anyway, you're going to find them in the D&D community.
A bit. You may have gathered from these sort of sessions, I do kind of fly by the seat of my pants at the best of times.
I don't.
I also steal a lot from movies.
And I don't.
And a few of the things I'm going to be doing, I'm going to steal from what we've done already. So it should be interesting. So hope to see you guys get involved in whatever way you can.
Looking forward to playing my
And
Firecracker.
it'll be interesting to see what the last session is like when I've been away for 24 hours. You're all dead.
Yeah, you
Am
go
I
into a
right?
room
When
and
it's on
do
Twitch,
stuff.
it's recorded.
So it gets saved on
Okay.
Twitch, but we also it gets sent to our YouTube channel, and it gets sent and we it goes on Facebook as well. So you can view it on.
I intend to watch as much as possible live, but at some point I will pass out.
Yeah,
and I
when
do
you'll be
not want to
sleeping.
miss
and then
the
talk about
back end of it in
So-
particular,
Yeah.
where
Well,
you're struggling to keep going.
The way we're working is everyone's starting off at level 10, so everyone gets to have a really developed character, gets to
I
have
just-
some fun with it.
I'm picturing the last 2 hours being like, so if you
Dragon.
if you wanna go down, see this bit, why isn't the mouse working? down that bit there, if you wanna go down there, and there's someone in the back goes, my character falls asleep.
Well,
No, there'll be fresh faces, won't they?
I was
There'll
going
be
to say,
fresh
people
faces.
jumping in and out.
It's only going to be the DM that suffered.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
annoying
I still think
person
we
on
need
the
a
coffin.
camera on you, just
Yeah.
so that
No, I don't disagree.
We're going to need a
we can
before
have-
picture
we can
and
have
an
that
after picture.
all the excitement to the.
Oh, you're right. There
One
needs to be a
time
picture
lapse.
every hour. There needs to be a timer. And
Picture every 10 minutes.
that's it. And so we can see the slow.
Picture every 10
progression.
minutes so we can see the time lapse.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the light goes off, he has to go.
But yeah, the idea is that it's going to be a party that's sort of who are clearly members of the ballroom. Which- yeah, and so they'll meet in the ballroom, and it will be they go off on this adventure, or maybe they talk to Direct, and Direct tells them about an adventure, and they go off and something like that. But the idea is everyone's level 10, everyone's got a bit of cash, got some stuff. They're going to go adventuring and fight some big monsters that you maybe don't see early doors, or you wouldn't be able to defeat early doors. And then people will go off, because I think I've got one person that's like doing the morning one, and it's you, isn't it? Matt? You're doing one of the early ones.
Yeah,
and
I'm
you're coming
doing
back later on
11 AM till 3 PM, and then I'm out with my other Warhammer group on Thursday night, running a D&D there. and then I finish that at about 10, and I'm coming back for 11 p.m. until 11 a.m. Friday,
Oh my word.
which is going to be worse.
So he's going to go off and do some stuff.
And then
come back in.
Well, I could
going to sleep and then driving to Scarborough Friday afternoon. So, oof.
actually, that's not a bad idea. I could do the
We've all
till
done it, but
just before 3. Go pick
Really
Will up,
early.
then come back later on and do all night until I have to leave.
It's going to be fun. We're all, us players are looking forward to it. We've got lots of our regular fans and victims that are also looking forward to it.
Yeah, I was just going to try and remember.
Well, no,
what
not all the victims, because we had to bury one. Yeah.
you mouthed off.
But yeah, I hope you guys have a really good evening. We've had a good evening. We might not have got much done D&D wise, but we've had a nice evening chatting and chilling.
We set up a business.
It's a business.
He's got his
We've planned some armour.
Got a saddle?
You've got options on a ring.
You're trying to decide which finger you're going to stick it. No, that's not even better. I'm going to stop. He can pick two of. No.
just go both.
One's $2,000 and one's 200.
How much money have you got?
I think it would suit you though. Oh, $2,000
No, I
and
don't.
2,000.
I don't know about that.
This
He's
is clearly
spent it
wrong, but
on the business.
I just gave Remy 50 gold
Oh,
because that's
I've
what he
got
had
three
starting
completions
level or
then.
something ridiculous.
So,
I
No
could
one's
give you
made
20.
any gold.
I could give you 20 gold.
I hope you all have a really good evening. We have. Stay safe, keep gaming, and remember,